Hey, what's going on there, folks? This is Dan here with Herbert Outdoors. Well, we just sitting here getting things set up. Alrighty, let's get this out. And if anybody wants to join me, it will be in the uh, link right there. I'm going to pin that up at the top. Go. All right. Hey, what's going on, Cliff? Yeah, appreciate you coming tonight. Uh, Hopefully, we'll have a crew here in a few moments. And Cliff, if you want to join me, just go ahead and pop on up. I am using the uh, Talk Studio here, so if I have a little bit of difficulty with this, bear with me. I will get it figured out here for too long. Okay. But yeah, tonight we are just basically going to chat about some of the uh, upcoming season here, where we 2025 camping, and uh, I know some meetups are on the schedule for some of the other channels, and hopefully we get some more in here. But yeah, um, this year I want to really step things up with the channel. I mentioned this in my last live stream, and I really want to actually try some camping videos. It's going to be a new experience for me. I've mainly done just like a how-to video, uh, some fishing videos, things like that. But I really want to kind of branch out and expand myself to something that is one of my passions. And granted, there's going to be some more how-to videos. I've got some new gear to show off, uh, but I really want to express my passion for the outdoors. There's going to be probably some hiking with it, some camping. I'll try to include some more fishing videos too. Uh, Although currently where I live, the places to go fishing are eh, somewhat a little more limited, not like they were when I was back in Arkansas. And I'll be looking forward to uh, getting out there. Um, it's like all kinds of ideas running through my head of things I want to do. Uh, I know I wanted to get together with Colin in a meetup, possibly Tyler Woods from Tyler Woods Bushcraft. He reached out to me a couple weeks ago, said that he's wanting to uh, do a meetup, get together with some more people again. We did that, so I think it was like 4 years ago. And then I've done a couple meetups with groups, Kincaid Outdoors, and course, I met, there's Blake. Speaking of which, there's another fellow YouTuber that I got to meet at a meetup. And of course, Cliff at Fox It Outdoors, Jason at Pest Hunter Outdoors, and let's see who else was there. Let's see, we had quite a few. Rob from Corn-Fed Experience was there. But yeah, I really enjoy those meetups. Uh, I'm surprised you haven't used your usual greeting there, Blake, for Cliff. But it's good to see people popping in, and like I said, I I want to kind of do the videos to where I give an experience. There it is. That's what we were looking for. Uh, uh, these videos I want to do. I want to give a kind of an experience of it. I've kind of been intimidated by doing it because yeah, YouTube's inundated with so many outdoor channels that show camping or van life or uh, RV camping or just all that. But just wanted to give a perspective of my view that the things that I see and what I experience out there. I'll show some camp crafting. Got some ideas for showing some making a fire starter. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, so I don't mind it. They're the greetings and stuff. But let's kind of. I'm okay with that one. That one is just a long-standing greeting that is between those two. They met at, like I said, one of the meetups that we did, and I think they've kind of developed a camaraderie that is allows for that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I wanted to give a perspective of the camping that I do. Um, some call it glamping. Um, I call it comfort. Um, I can see already that Cliff and Blake are going to have me going. Uh, but the perspective of seeing nature and what it's like for me. Uh, like I said, the tent setup that I have, it's the cabin style tent. Got the video basically showing what tent I use. Uh, I also like to set up a tarp kind of pavilion type thing. Uh, Nice for if you sit just around the campfire. Um, it's you got the fire pit right in front of you there, and if you're not burning a fire, it's just kind of like you're itching to make a fire to enjoy it. But if you are off under like I said, a tarp type pavilion, it gives you the ability to just kind of kick back and observe nature. I watch the squirrels, the birds. Campground that I like to go to, they even have deer running through the campground. And yeah, I'd be good sleeping on the floor too if it wasn't getting older. The older I get, the harder it is to get up off the floor. And I I want to start a movement, although I know that nobody's going to follow along with this movement, but I think we should raise the surface of the earth probably at least, I don't know, what do you say, 36 inches? And that way it's not so far to the ground, It's going to make it easier, especially if you want to reach down and pick something up. It's just right there. And, help the elderly. It won't be any more, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. But uh, like I said, I do want to get out on the trails, kind of show this a little more about this campground that I like to camp at. Uh, yeah, I have that same setup, Blake. Uh, I have a twin air mattress sitting on top of a cot, and of course, I've got my uh, Coleman camp tables. They are just, I'm going to do a video on it. I really need to do that and show you. But the tables, it comes in its two pieces that are put together and carries like a suitcase type thing. You can disconnect them, put the legs on it. Legs have adjustable, or not adjustable as in you just screw it then slide it out. It's got through a couple of different pieces that you can alter the height of the table, and you can either put them in the shape of a long table, you can put them in the shape of like a card table, or you can use them as single individual tables. And what I found is one of them sitting right next to the cot there is the perfect height for putting a fan on it, putting a drink on it, just whatever you want to have out there. And I use one of those little portable USB fans, and uh, it's nice to have. It's not a necessity, but in summertime when it gets quite warm, I like to be comfortable at night, and those things don't take much power, so it's it's a good thing. And I've got one of those. What do they call those? The zero gravity chairs that set up under the tarp there, and sometimes I'll read a book, sometimes I'll get a mind to do some camp crafting, or you know making fire starters. I've been working on a bow drill set, just to practice my skills. Uh, Never know, might be something that I have a need for, but doubtful because, you know, I've got just about every other fire starter. But I kind of like to spend time making fire starters. You know, everybody's familiar with the cotton pads and dipping them in wax, and things like that. And I have a tendency towards some of the more natural things, but you know, I don't mind making those. Uh, you know, the simplified ones with, like I said, the wax and cotton balls and uh, the Jello and stuff. Ah, there's Cliff.
I am. I'm here. Oh, Jesus. Look, 2 orange boys.
How appropriate.
Exclamation point. I know, just
There we go.
happened to be the one Sunday that I'm wearing orange because I rotate my shirts. I have orange and yellow.
Uh, yeah, so you know, you joined us for that meetup, and it was actually an enjoyable adventure. We got to meet a lot of great people and things like that.
Oh, yeah, it was
And
awesome.
but it was interesting to see the different levels of camping that people do. You know, I would say if you did a scale just on our group of, you know, who's glamping and who's camping and who's roughing it, uh, you're on the more on the end of roughing it
Yeah, I was
because
on the like cusp of not quite roughing it, but not quite glamping.
yeah, I
I
mean
had my little power station, but I had light, and I was running. I had this guy running. I had my little my little tiny mini micro fan.
yeah,
I had this was sitting on top of my power station. I had the power station, and aside from that, I really didn't have much other than like one of these little lights hanging off the top, and that was my indoor light, and I always had it set to red, so I wasn't blinding myself.
oh, has that got a little hook on the bottom of it for?
No, that one actually doesn't. But the company that makes this sells this little magnetic piece, which it normally goes on a round keyring style, but mine broke,
Right.
but sticks right on her. It's magnetized,
Oh,
so it
okay.
locks right on her. So I would just hang it off my gear loft. But the one I took with me has this little guy stuck to it.
Are those rechargeable?
Yes. So when I
Like
when I
that.
took mine, I had mine was attached to this little thing,
Uh huh.
and I just hooked that to one of the hooks in the tent for where my gear loft sits,
Yeah.
and I just had it just chilling up there. And I mean, the thing's got a long little cord on there. It's probably almost a foot.
Yeah.
The red light.
I know. Like one of the lights that I have is a like a collapsible uh, little solar light, and it's got the. Uh, it's not a see-through material. It's kind of like a
Oh, like a Lucy light.
kind of, and that seems to work because typically what I do during the day just set it out on the picnic table outside and let sunlight do its thing and charge it up. So
Yeah, they're either was it an inflatable one or is it like an accordion style pop up one?
just an accordion style.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I know that. I don't remember the brand name, but I do know those ones.
Yeah. And you know, it's one of those you can also supposedly charge your phone off of. Although
You
lucky,
you actually can, surprisingly.
well,
So
I got it probably 5 years ago, and
I've done it with this
today's
thing. I've charged my phone off of this. Takes forever, but it can do it.
yeah, the top
The
of
whole
it
port right there on the
is
backside.
the top of it's kind of similar to the
Yeah,
top of
yeah, a
mine.
little solar panel on there. And then this one has, like I said, this one has the.
Nice.
Kind of wish it wasn't white. I wish it was more like a diffused red or like something, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a free light, or well, it's a source of light that charges itself.
So which
I
is
can't get it
which
back in the
is the
hole.
one that is less likely to attract bugs? Is it the
Red light.
is it red? Okay.
Yeah, white light attracts them. Blue light, I believe, will bring them in too. The reason why most bug lights are kind of like a bluish on that
Hey
blue
Grace,
B
how's it going?
spectrum.
Welcome.
Hey, Grace.
Come on in. And I did have something that just before I started the live stream happened that I'm kind of upset about. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah, a piece of equipment that I use when I camp is, of course, my solar battery pack, and it's a EcoFlow. I've had it for probably 4 years now, and it's now unable to turn on.
Uh-oh.
Well, it turns on for a second and it shows the display, and then it shows uh, I think it's under the percentage of charge or something like that. It says overload.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure what to do about that. So I guess I'm gonna have to. Of course, it's outside of its warranty and all that. So
Is it a big unit or is it like a little tiny solar
yeah,
panel?
let me show you. About the size of a car battery.
Oh, okay. So it's a portable battery pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's kind of similar to what I have.
Yeah. It's got the three
Plugs on
110
the back.
plugs, got three USB A and a USB C. It's got the cigarette lighter, the light. Uh, but of course, you turn it on. Well, now it's not even doing anything. But if I plug it in, it'll come on, and again, it'll say overload about right here. So, I
Could be a
guess
bad
I'll
switch or connection in there.
guess I'll let it sit and see if it uh, might have to sit for quite a while to uh, discharge some of the
Oh, those
charge.
things hold. Damn suckers will hold battery for shit months.
Well, uh, last year I left it unplugged for a considerable amount of time, and it drained the battery all the way down in probably about 4 months. So,
Does yours
but
have like a circuit, like a surge protector breaker on there?
not that I saw.
Usually just like a little button on there that's usually on the front, it might be on the side or in the back. It's usually just like an overload. So like if you have too much of a surge, it pops it. It's kind of similar to like a built-in breaker, like a fuse breaker.
I got a IoT reset.
Might have to do that to probably reset the system.
But it's showing like a because I think you can connect to this Bluetooth to your phone or something.
Some of them, yeah. I forgot that sucker blinks. Jesus.
There is a reset here on the side. Don't know what that'll do. But, I'll fiddle with that later. We'll figure it out. But it might also mean that I'm in the market for a new one. And they have actually come down in price.
Yeah, some of them have. Some of them I feel like they're getting more expensive, but
Yeah.
it's the most expensive part is the main unit itself. Like the solar attachments for like the solar panels, those are usually cheap, but they'll still run. Some of those will run $200-300 a piece just for the solar panel kits.
Yeah. I've got one that uh, I believe it's a 200-watt solar panel. It's
Oh, I don't remember
got
what.
4 panels, but let me see if I can remember.
I'd have to dig mine out. It's sitting in the corner back there, but yeah, it's 4 panels. That thing folds out. It's like 4.5 feet wide, 5 feet wide almost. It's a huge solar panel, and it'll charge that in good sun. It'll charge that whole battery in like 2-3 hours.
Not mine. Mine's I think a 750 watt.
Mine's a 600. What depends on what the input is for the charge and whether or not that one would be actually compatible. But yeah, I either have a 100-watt solar panel or mine's a 250. But yeah, it charges that thing wicked quick.
720-watt power station with a 160-watt solar panel. So it's actually, at the same time, but I'm actually been looking at a newer one. I don't know if it's I haven't seen a whole lot on this particular brand. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, we got some snow today too. You ever hear of an All Powers?
Mm-mm.
It's R2500 portable power station. 2500 watt, 2016 watt hours.
Hmm.
And it actually has a 30 amp RV port on it, which I was actually kind of shocked. But of course, it's got it's like I said, it comes with a 200-watt panel with it, and I was looking at this. It's $11.99 right now, which is pretty pricey. But that's, like I said, that includes the uh,
I'm showing it for 660 on my side.
just the power station.
Nah, power station with the solar panel.
You got a link for that?
Yeah, I can throw that up there. Hopefully it's not 65 pages long, because... Oh, yeah, it's one of them. God dang it. Let's see if I can get a shorter link.
I'll just drop it in the private chat there.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, if that's the case, I can do that one in the... There you go.
There we go.
Private chat it is, because the link was way too long to stick in YouTube chat.
It's taking its time to pull that one up. Okay, so that's straight off the All Power site. So I
Yep.
was looking on Amazon, but ooh, wow. That's the R1500. We're looking at the 2500. The 2500 without the panel is $9.99, and then Oh, 11.59. It's interesting that it's cheaper than. Of course, it's not surprising. About $50 cheaper than Amazon. But yeah, that's one I was looking at, and I was wondering if anybody had heard of that brand. Um,
No, that one's a new one on me.
but
Oosh.
I think Adventures with Spackman did a video. I think with one of these, or it might have been another channel, but actually look, the Amazon reviews on it. What do they got? Well, actually, they don't. It's got a 4.4 stars, and there's no uh, horrible ratings on it. So that might be my
Yeah,
next
it is an interesting system.
solution.
But yeah, that's the 2500. So yeah, I do like the fact that has got the RV port or stove port, for whatever you're running for 250.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'll ever have that because I don't typically, uh, you
Carry a
know,
stove with you.
yeah. So it's ooh, I can do
I
up
mean,
to
that makes it nice for like a refrigerator. If you have a refrigerator that runs off the 220 or
yeah.
whatever, 210, but most refrigerators are just going to run off your standard 110.
I wonder if I wish I could see the type of plug that it actually has for connecting your power up to it, but it actually shows on the chart. I actually scrolled down to the chart where it's showing how much time it's got. uh, Refrigerator can go 6 hours on it. uh, it could actually do a 1200-watt microwave for 1.2 hours. Electric oven 1500-watt for an hour. A dishwasher.
Who
Yeah,
needs?
I'm gonna haul a
Who wants to?
dishwasher out there camping with me.
You're going to have to do that anything you do with that. You're going to have to do it in the daytime because once nighttime hits, you use your stove for an hour and 10 minutes, and your battery's draining. You got no way of charging it.
Well, most of the stuff that I do with it is out camping, and I've done some uh, like 2 and 3 day camping expeditions, and it seems to be just about enough when charging my cameras, my phone, my fan, um, little things like that. But if I go much beyond those uh, couple of days, then I don't. I feel like I'm not getting, or I'm worried that I'm gonna run out of power with it. So if I did, because a lot of times I go on a Friday morning, and of course I don't use it till that evening or that night. So Friday night, Saturday night, if I stay another night, Sunday night. But if I do a get together, a meetup or something like that, then it's obviously going to be more, probably a couple more days. And I know in the campground that I go to, it's a basically pine forest, and so there's a lot of pine trees around it. So yeah, light does get through, um, which is really nice. But yeah, at the same time, it's shaded enough that it keeps it cooler than other campgrounds that just wide open, no trees and such. So
when you bought that unit, did you not get the solar panel with it?
yeah, I've got the solar panel with it. So that's why I was wondering if I get that, just the unit, if my solar panel from the other one will work with it. You know, it's got the. See if I can show this.
I'm gonna look back at it again. Because usually on those when they do them,
See
see.
the plug style, that 2-prong.
Oh, that's that standard Sony PlayStation connector.
Yeah. So I don't know if they have their own proprietary connector so that you utilize their connectors. So
Trying to find out on this. It looks like they have. I'm having a hard time seeing this because just zoom in, you picker. Where's my damn magnifying glass? I can't read this stupid screen.
Grace getting a little flooding going on in her area.
Oh, emergency battery connection port. That's what that is. So that one. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, expand battery port and expand battery port 2. But I wonder what the. I wonder where the connection port is. That's what I want to know. Looks like that one might be compatible with it. It looks like it's showing the standard.
I'm looking at the description of it on the side. It's got the AC input, the overload protector, solar input, and extra battery connector. Which
the battery connectors are on the other side, and it's there's 2 of them, so you can connect 2 batteries to it and get massive battery power.
Right.
But what I'm seeing from the picture, let's see if it'll. Oh, I might not be able to do. It might be too small if we do.
I did scroll down to the.
No, I'm looking at the one I'm looking at that I have the picture for is I think it's the 1500 water, the R15. But it's got that similar to yours. It's got that door on the other side where you pop it open and plug it in.
Right.
But it's the 3 vertical bars. Looks kind of like a robot smiley face, I guess, or a robot face. But it's a square plug, which might be a proprietary one for that one, so you might have to get the solar panel specifically designed for it.
Yeah. Now there is a step-down model, 100-watt solar panel, which when I have set mine up, they actually, with the 160-watt solar panel, I never got 160 watts out of it. Never got. I think probably the most I ever got direct sunlight was 112-ish. Hey, Jason, you want to come up and join?
Evening, Mr. Pesty Hunter. Wear an orange shirt.
Yeah, you got to be part of the
orange crew.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to have to deal with there. Hopefully I can get this one going again, maybe last me one more season.
Yeah, I'm looking at the if you get the one I'm looking at, the 1500 or the 1800, more or less the same one. According to the site, you can get a free car charger, but I'm trying to figure out which is the input plug. If that one's the... So the problem is I can't read this because they never do a good pictures of like either side. It's always cantilevered or cockeyed, so you can never get the damn things. So I can't tell if that's power. That's critical something. That's probably the reset. And then there's one over there that looks like a solid block with two dark holes in it, and I don't know if that's the pin connector for that or if that's for the
Like
solar.
I was looking at, on that site, as I scrolled way down, actually, showing what it comes with. It does not show. It says it's got a user manual, but of course it's not something you can download. But I scrolled down towards the bottom of the whole page there, and it had an all powers solar generator kit with a 600-watt solar panel. It's like 6 panels as opposed to the 5. But when you hover over it, it shows the plugs, and it looks like, I can't see it up close, but it looks like when you hover over it, it shows 2 cables, and probably one of them's for plugging in the back of the solar panel, and then the other one has looks like the yellow plug, just like the one I have off of my existing solar panels, because it would be nice not to have to replace that.
Sometimes you can find an adapter that'll usually connect the two together, but again, it's sitting there spending the time trying to find the adapter.
Yeah. Well, I may have to touch base with their support. And who knows? Maybe they'll send me one and sponsor me.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be a nice little touch. Because for the average camper, I wouldn't use it for, like, per se, for running a coffee maker or a hot plate or anything like that. Now, granted, hey, an emergency situation, and it might just need it for that. But
Yeah.
it would be nice to have it as an option. But like I said, for the most part, I'm charging the basic necessities, which a lot of times I use the little 20,000 milliamp battery packs, especially during the day if I'm doing a lot of moving around or something. Might hook up the phone to it.
I feel most of the time, I think once you get, I think after 10,000, I mean, you're just dragging around extra weight. I mean, unless you're like using your phone 24/7 while you're walking around trying to film everything,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be going through your battery plus another 20,000 milliamps worth of battery.
Um, no, I don't. But like, using the phone, the fan a lot during the day when it gets really hot,
Yeah.
those can tend to chew up the battery of the fan.
Yeah, that I can. I have my little 10-inch fan that I have down here. This guy. I was actually testing this one on my battery pack.
This
Also,
this
you
is the
got the
one.
smaller one. I
Yeah.
have this one. Let me see if I can do this. Turn
This one
sandwich
has
pickle.
the
That one right there. I have one of those little, like, kind of little mini desk fans. And I think, like, that guy right there.
Yeah, this one
Similar to,
has the
like,
12.
what you have right there. Yeah, that's kind of similar to that one. Haven't tried
This
running
one
it on that one, though.
This one has the 12,000 milliamp. But the nice thing about it is it's got this clip here, what I call the chip clip, and it clips perfectly onto my camp chair. So it can be right there next to me,
Nice.
or I could I could clip it onto the side here. Or, my camp chair has the little fold out little tables on them,
Yeah,
so
the
I can
little
set
yeah.
it on that.
I remember
Although,
you brought two of those with you. I think you had two of those. I think I sat in one of them.
no, I just had the
Oh, you
one.
just had the one. Then
Yeah,
somebody else must have had them because
but
we had. I think there was like 3 or 4 camp chairs that had the fold out tables, like the
yeah,
hard tables on the
yeah.
sides for the like the armrest.
And that's the kind I like to use when I sit around the campfire. Now, like I said, I have the zero gravity chair as well, and I'll sit up under my tarp with that. And you know, hey, if the mood hits me, I can just kick back in it and take a nice little nap. Ah.
Right, just lean back a tad bit, loosen a strap, and
But
you're cold.
those kind of chairs are not optimal for sitting around the campfire, especially when it's just me and I'm the one that's tending the campfire. So the constant from the uh,
Up and down.
reclined positioned and then have to put, slide it in, get up, adjust the fire, slide it back out. Just annoying. So just use like I said, it's not the bag chairs, it's the harder one. Just, but yeah, might even do some more videos on cooking. And one of the things that I want to figure out how to make, or kind of an easy way to make uh, maybe a biscuit or a bread type thing.
Pancakes.
Actually make it out, not a pancake. Something that's like a fry bread, or just something that's a little more homemade breadish instead of your store bought loaf type thing. Although I'm still trying to figure out a good system for cooking it. I know, a lot of people say, "Oh, just get your Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven," but I don't do a lot of cast iron cooking, if any at all. As a matter of fact, right now I don't own a cast iron pan.
I have a few.
I mean, I tend to do most of my actual cooking on Coleman propane stove, but got some, got an interesting cooking video that I'm planning on doing. It's not your typical cooking video,
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
so that one's going to be a little fun to make. It's just a little poke at the fine art of cooking. Well, not really cooking. And then, like I said, got some more products to show. Uh, I would. I've been considering a teardrop trailer for possibly doing some over the road camping. But yeah, price of those things right now, and the fact that for me, I don't have a place here at the house that I could store it, so it would have to be stored at a lot somewhere.
Yeah,
And
so that's the problem with those things. They're convenient to have, but if you don't have the property to put them on, they're
yeah,
not convenient to have.
absolutely. And you know, I kind of feel I'm kind of torn on it, and one of the drawbacks, and it's kind of a big drawback for me, is the fact that you cannot stand up in uh, a teardrop, you know, and that's one of the reasons I use the cabin style tent. Ah, there's Jason. Let's bring him up. Welcome.
Yeah, orange shirt crew.
Orange.
Hey, The orange
we
shirt.
got 3 shades of orange. Almost not orange, bright orange, and then Jason's freaking neon orange over there.
Super loud orange.
Safety orange.
Grace said Bannock.
Yeah, Bannock would be a good one to do a cook on.
Now that would be something I would like to learn to do. I know we've made the cowboy burritos. Of course, your basic bacon, eggs, and cheese, and throw it on a tortilla shell. But I kind of would be interesting in either, like I said, doing a biscuit. But then I look at, I've looked at a lot of videos where people are doing that, and they're doing, they say, oh, you mix it up at home in a bag, and put your yeast in there and whatnot, let it rise and so forth. But I kind of look at it from a standpoint, and the reason I do this is because I read a lot of books that are about, uh, Western books, and they talk about, I made up some quick biscuits or made up some bread, and so I would like to, try that and experience it like they did, So Bannock might be a good. I guess I'll have to look into that. Maybe we can convince Grace into making a video on that, so that we'll have something to reference.
I unfolded it, and now I can't figure out how to refold it.
How's everybody day going?
Going good. How's the weather there?
Cold.
Yeah.
We are currently at, let me find out. We're at about 47 and around about 4 o'clock today.
See what we're hitting here. 14 degrees right now outside, and I believe it is going to get colder.
We're at 42.
Yeah, here's a look at our forecast. That's awful. Negatives.
No, that's too cold. Yeah, I almost grabbed the shirt that had the reflectors on it.
Oof. No, Jason. We don't need that safety orange.
Although
that's too much safety.
Next week we're going to be hitting in the.
Aha! I figured it out.
Oh no,
not
next week. The week after, we're going to be hitting in the 50s. So that ought to be good.
By the way, folks, this is some good chocolate.
Tony's.
Look at how thick that thing is.
Tony's Chocolonely?
Tony's chocolate.
That'll make you chunky.
It's a really mellow milk chocolate too. I had 2 of these because they were dirt cheap. I also had to pick up a new lid for my water bottle. Nah.
Oh, for the meetup.
I am now attached. My lid is now attached to my container again. Couldn't find the other one, though. I couldn't find any of the Woodsman bottles, so I couldn't get the orange and brown and yellow one.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed.
I should have content coming out. Some pretty good stuff around about September, October.
I gotta wait a whole year for Jason to put out content. So
Mm-hmm.
You're fired. I quit. You're fired, and I quit.
No, we've been stretching our dollar pretty hard.
So you've got something planned for that time period?
I'll probably be doing work on the house. Finally.
Okay. So when's you said the other day you were gonna do the setup of the greenhouse?
Hopefully, I should be able, weather permitting, this up and coming Tuesday. Weather permitting.
Have you looked at your forecast?
Yeah, it looked like I might have rain in the afternoon. I got to make sure I got a 4 hour window opening.
Yeah, me and Jason got shit weather coming in next week.
Yeah, because we're showing, overnight temperatures like down in the negatives.
Yeah, wow, that's cold. However, the week after my weekend after next, is supposed to be beautiful, sunny, high 70s. We're going from winter to summer in 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Show off.
No, me and Jason were looking at the weather forecast the other night on Thursday for about 20 minutes. And yeah, after the 23rd, both our locations, the temp goes from 50
40s.
to 75.
Yep.
And in literally like 24 hours.
I'd be ready for that kind of weather because
Yeah, but mine's gonna be humid.
give me a chance to get out and actually make some videos. I mean, I could go out walking the trails. We've got a disc golf park here in town,
You
which
hungry?
is actually a world renowned disc golf course. And for such a small town to have that they've really done a nice job with their trails around it. Oh yeah, wrap on a stick.
Oh, that's for the Bannock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got. Oh well, where I used to live, we had a lot of nice trails, bicycling, skating, running, miles and miles and miles of urban trails. All
Well,
called.
they actually have been working on it over the last, I would say, like 2 years, and they cleared out a lot of the scrub and such, so it's a little more open. And then they also uh, have laid down like the wood chips,
Yeah,
for the paths, walking between the holes. So that's actually nice. But it's interesting because if you look at the video where I went hunting for Herbert T, it was actually filmed in 2 locations, and both of them were disc golf courses that are here in town. We actually have 2 of them, and it's not that big of a town. Now, so I see those options there. What about, and I don't, I see the frying it in a pan. Um, is that something that Bannock, is that something that has to rise, or is it? I don't know what's the
If I
ingredient.
remember correctly, Bannock is kind of like it's a dense bread, so kind of like a bagel.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't believe you have to let it rise.
Turn that shirt down.
Right?
Boy,
one
it's
of
a
my
good
old.
thing I don't. It's a good thing I don't have to color edit this video. The amazing thing is,
Here,
Cliff, your
I'll turn it
camera
up.
is probably the best resolution.
Well, I do have mine. I do actually have a 1080p HD camera.
I did not even look at. Oh,
You can see the wrinkles on my forehead.
I wonder if I can do this. Let's see if it'll let me change the. Oh no,
Tempe.
not
Tempe Parks Recreation.
supported by device.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's a Tempe Park Crew.
No, Public Works.
Oh, Public Works.
The Parks Department was actually in Public Works.
Yeah,
see,
in order to keep it to stick on there, Grace, yeah, you kind of gotta. It sounds really stupid, but almost everybody I've seen that cooks Bannock on a stick, you have to heat the stick up first over the fire just a little bit to get it warm, and that'll help keep the bread to stick to it. It'll like kind of kind of partially cooks it on there, and then you do it that way.
Now,
Or you can skewer it.
what about you've seen those kind of like a waffle maker type thing.
Yeah.
It's got the two thing, but I have one that actually is like a cake or a grilled thing, and it's got 3 pockets in it. And I actually cook cinnamon rolls in it. Because the nice thing about it is, you got the old Wop biscuit cinnamon rolls, and you can put 3 of them in there and cook them over the fire, and it's real tasty. A smoked cinnamon roll is actually pretty good.
Sounds good, actually.
Yeah. So that's why I was wondering if I could actually do it within that, or does it need like a grease to?
You definitely want to butter it.
Yeah, if you're doing it in a cast iron style cooker thingy, then yeah, you're gonna want to grease it, otherwise it'll stick.
Well, this would be open.
Yeah.
So
hold on, kids home.
It's kind of a smaller mesh. Trying to think of how to. I mean, you could probably even do toast, make toast in it.
Breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah. That's one of the things I really look forward to as well about the, camping is the breakfast. Bacon, eggs, bacon and eggs.
I'm about half tempted to go walk to my kitchen and get my waffle maker and see if I can run my waffle maker off the battery pack.
That's a lot of wattage.
There's a lot of things that I've been running, like I just throw in there just to plug it in and test it when it's at full power, and just to see how long it'll tell me it'll run it. I've gotten some interesting times just on this little 500 or this little 600 water.
Yeah, Jason, we were talking earlier. I don't know if you caught any of it, but of course, I've got the EcoFlow battery box here, but now it's coming up with a message saying overload on it, and I'm going to play with it later. I didn't realize that there was a overload reset switch there, so I'm going to have to check that out. If I got to replace this, it's going to be kind of sad because I got I think about 3.5 years use out of it.
Well, what the instructions say?
It just happened right before the live stream. It just started beeping, and I went over there and looked at it. It's like it's saying overload, because I plug it in, leave it plugged in until it's fully charged, and then I unplug it, and then probably once a month I'll check it to see how much it's dissipated and see if it needs to be plugged in again to keep it charged up, so that if we have a power outage or something like that. But, no yeast. Use baking powder or soda. Don't for leaving. Rises while cooking, so it doesn't rise a lot. Okay, so I'm not super concerned about the rising. It'd be nice to make something, bread wise, that I could put like honey on.
I can legit, with the smallest amount of ingredients, I can actually make pizza dough just randomly everywhere.
I did, like I said, I was looking at the different options of cooking it. So, I don't have a Dutch oven, and I actually don't, like I was mentioning earlier, I don't have any cast iron.
Well, you're gonna have to work on that.
The thing I have a problem with on that, and I guess I could cook with it on my Coleman stove, but just having a place to store so that I don't get
Yeah.
the
That
oil
makes
and stuff all over everything. But I do make, like I said, I've got a non-stick, a nice non-stick pan that I use that has a kind of a high edge all the way around it. And I use that. Start off. I cook my bacon in it. I got a second pan that I cook up cube up potatoes and boil them. And then once the bacon's done, I take that out and I throw
Is your skillet similar to this?
very much so.
Kind of like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this thing.
I really like that for cooking with bacon. If you've got the sloped edges, the grease tends to splatter out more.
Yeah, because it's got more of a way to go.
Yeah. So
sorry, I had to fix the avatar.
that tends to work pretty good.
Hanging from a tree. Jason's hanging from a tree.
Definitely gonna have to look at that bannock.
I need to actually use this more.
Oh yeah, I know what I was going to ask you, Jason. Have you heard of the All Powers? Solar battery packs or battery stations.
The what power bat? Which one?
All Powers.
No, I haven't.
Because I was kind of looking at a 2,500 watt kit, which actually has a 30 amp plug on it.
Wow, I wonder what the battery life is on that.
As far as
the life of the battery.
Oh, the life of the battery?
3,500 charges, I think it said.
Or is it 30 amp to charge it?
No, it's got a 30 amp plug.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of power going out.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of power going out. Dan was looking at the specs and he was saying you can run a microwave for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. I was just thinking if it was a 220, that's enough to turn on a water heater.
It was good enough to run a stove for an hour and 15, something like that. Microwave for, I think, it was like the microwave was 2 hours, I think. Yeah, there's crazy power on that thing now, but I was thinking, I was like, who's going to randomly just drag a microwave out into the middle of nowhere so they can run that off their battery pack for freaking 20 minutes?
Well, they might need popcorn for the movie.
Yeah, it's over 3,500 charging cycles.
Well, I was just wondering what the amp hours were for it. He just told me right there, an hour and a half.
I think the amp hours on it was...
An electric oven at 1,500 watts can run for an hour.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You can run a washing machine that's 250 watts.
1,500
5.5 hours.
1,500 watts.
But again, who's out there with a washing machine in the middle of nowhere?
Or a dishwasher.
Yeah. I'm going to drag my dishwasher out there on this camping trip because I don't feel like washing dishes in this foldable wash basin that takes up no space. But yeah, I got no problems dollying out a freaking 3x3x3 box.
Yeah.
Right.
That's 12 and a half amps that it's drawing off of there. 1,500 watts. 12 amps.
But that's like that one of those ones we were looking at about a month and a half back, Jason, for the house units.
Oh yeah.
$30,000 to run your house on a battery pack.
And for quite a while too. So was it to what, six batteries? The
Yeah, but
eco
them
flow,
batteries were freaking huge.
yeah, $3,500. What, $3,600 per battery?
Yeah, they were massive batteries.
And about
We're
five
I
talking
thousand.
did.
like suitcase.
Yeah,
I did.
it's like 30. Was it no? Is it like 5,800 for the first battery pack and the inverter?
Unit.
Yeah. Then you can stack the batteries on top of that.
Yeah.
All you have to do is
Well,
plug it into your outlet for it.
the thing I liked about that one is that you can actually plug in more batteries to it.
Yeah, a deeper cycle.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, the EcoFlow is for what 50 amps. So 50 amps out of what? How many amp hours were each one of those batteries? At 50 amps
They were.
was like what 4 hours,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, you got 6 batteries on top of that. If you're drawing 50 amps, you know, in an emergency situation, you're drawing too much.
Yeah. Well, like mine's not rated to do anything like a hot plate or a
Yeah,
coffee maker. Or, it's a 720 watt or
She might actually run my coffee grinder, which is pretty nice, but that thing doesn't take up a lot of power.
you know, like I said, the average coffee maker is about 11 amps when it's brewing.
Yeah. You might
what
get one
about
of the smaller ones, like the single or double cup units, but you're still that's
Those Keurigs,
yeah.
those Keurigs are drawing 13 and a half amps.
No. I meant like the regular actual like the ones you get like the hotel coffee pots.
Those little
Yeah.
ones, yeah,
Yeah.
they do a little bit more. Yeah, that was a half a pot.
yeah? But I've got a nice little pot that I use on the Coleman stove. I heat up, so it's
I'm curious now.
big enough that I heat up the whole pot, and then I, of course, use the
Yeah.
powdered coffee.
I'm curious to see what my coffee grinder actually pulls off of this now.
Well, what's your AC unit? How many? What's the?
Oh god, that thing is
amps on
like oh no, this thing I wouldn't even be able to start this thing up with that battery bank.
Yeah. I think
This
those ones are
thing
what
draws a shit ton of
7,000.
power.
I think those were at 15, 1,700 watts.
Woo! About 140 watts for that little coffee grinder.
That's not bad.
Wow.
But my battery's also at 47%. So I probably need to charge that again.
Yeah, like I said, I'd like to have a little more power so that, and yes, I could charge it with a solar panel, but like I was telling Cliff, I've got a 60-watt solar panel that I use that I can charge this EcoFlow, and of course, the solar panels came from EcoFlow. I don't think I've ever hit more than like 112 watts, and in most cases, it was probably more like 70 or 80. And yes, I do get sunlight through the trees at the campground I'm at, and there's a lot of big openings. But it's like you set out a 4-panel solar
Yeah.
panel thing, and then 20 minutes later you got to move it because the sun's moved.
Like,
So,
usually the easiest thing when you have those is just to lay the sucker flat on the picnic table.
yeah, but the picnic table could be in the shade.
Could just move the picnic table.
And, but not every campground you can move the picnic table. They have
Well,
at the one I go to, they have them cabled to the ground.
yeah, you can move them. What you can orient them certain directions, but yeah, you can't really move them more than 5 feet to the left or 5 feet to the right.
You could rotate it like 90 degrees, or you can maybe slide it 2 foot this way or 2 foot that
Yeah,
way. That's it.
it's bad that we got to the point where they had to start anchoring down picnic tables at campgrounds. I'm like, who the heck goes out there and steals a freaking picnic table?
They'll take one from one spot and move it to the other spot so they have two tables.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, they usually, when they're done, they put them back. But at the same time, like, you go to campsites, half the picnic tables are gone. They're like, where did they go?
I know.
Who steals a picnic table?
Yeah, one night we ended up having 3 tables disappear in the park. So we started chaining them down.
I was watching a RV or a van life camper, and they had gone to a campground where the picnic tables weren't chained down, and she had set up her camp. She had the canopy coming off. I think she had like an SUV type campers instead of a van, but set up her canopy for it. Had her, instead of using their fire pit, she had her own little metal fire pit there, and she had the picnic table sitting beside her vehicle, and I think she even said she had some stuff sitting on it and had been there for a couple hours. So she had totally set up her campsite and everything. And then next thing you know, a group of people come in and they tell her that, which she's got the paperwork and everything, shows she's reserved the spot and everything. Is, of course, one of those you got to reserve online. And so she's got all that. And then these people show up and say, oh, no, we reserved it. But they had no paperwork. And they had probably 5 or 6 vehicles, and they got 3 sites for it. And so they got, of course, had the one next to her. They come walking over, took her stuff off the picnic table, picked it up, and carried it over to their site.
Yeah, that's just rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have straight said something to one of the people working there, and I've been like, yeah, these guys just dumped all my shit on the floor and took my picnic table.
Yeah. Well, like the campsite that I go to, they don't have a campsite attendant. Now it's state park, so they do have the people that come around and
Yeah, park rangers.
no, not park rangers.
Really?
They're just I think they refer to them as like technicians or something like that.
Maintenance workers. Like I said, there's a phone number that you can call.
Yeah. Well, their headquarters for the state park there is, or I shouldn't say headquarters. It's basically their centralized location where they keep all their equipment. They got a garage there. They have a house. Whoever the manager is could stay there. The manager they have now doesn't stay in that. He actually has a trailer in the campground that during the week he stays in when he's working, and then on the weekend he goes home. And but I've got to, there's been I get there, like I said, on Friday mornings, so I get to meet up with them. But they come around, but they're not there to police up the actions of other people unless something, somebody's unruly, or it's a dry uh, state park, so no alcohol. And there have been some people that have gotten a little bit rowdy, stuff like that. But it's never been a situation where they've had to come and tell somebody, you got to get out. So, but I've had some odd interactions out there. So some bizarre people. And, the guy that when I got there, they said he went missing a couple days prior to in the park.
Oh,
Not
damn.
campground, but in the park area. And then I got there on Friday, so by Sunday they had found him about it was about a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road at where some houses were, and he was trying to break into people's houses and had an axe, and he was threatening the people, telling them he's going to mess them up and whatnot. But he was basically on crack.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen many of those.
Yeah. And I did come out there one time, and there's a couple that comes out. They've got uh, it's kind of like the all enclosed trailer that like oh, contractors, like a
Oh
enclosed
yeah, box trailer
yeah, box trailer.
or
Yeah.
tow behind box trailer. Some yeah.
Yeah, so they have a trailer like that is actually a camping trailer, and it actually has a slide outside on it even.
That's the best way to do it.
And so it was pretty nice. And they actually came during the week and left it there to go run into town and get some stuff, or I don't know if they went, around to drove around to some of the trails and went walking or whatever, but somebody stopped and decided to do five-finger discount on their trailer.
Ooh,
Didn't take the trailer, but took a lot of things from inside it.
lock your doors, folks.
Yep. Now, granted, I don't leave a lot of things of any value really in my tent. So if I was to need to run into town, or not a whole lot of value, but I have a secret alarm system set up for it. So if somebody decides to get into the tent, an alarm will go off and they will find trouble stopping the
Bam!
alarm. So
Flashbang.
no, just the loud piercing siren. But like I said, the park people, the guys that the technicians or whatever take care of it, they're just you know quarter of a mile away from the campground. Now, granted, a lot of times during the day they're out mowing or uh, clearing trails, things like that. But you know, at least it's slightly comforting that somebody might be within earshot.
Only slightly.
Yeah,
Booby trap the tent. They step in. Bam! Board with a nail on it, right to the face.
yeah. They, I did have a camping trip where somebody or this couple had hiked into one of the primitive campsites, and I didn't realize that the main trail to get to it went right by the campground. Uh, so it was like a Sunday morning. They were coming back from their campsite, walking back to the car. Boy, the gal was just giving the guy a very strong tongue lashing and saying that, I can't believe you slept with so and so. Oh, I'm sorry. And fortunately, the parking area for them was up above, and there was woods in between, so there was a little bit higher up parking area for them. But I was in one of the closest camping spots to them, hearing all their arguments. She got in the car and wouldn't let him in, and I think she even ran over his foot.
Jesus.
Went to hollering and screaming and take him to the hospital, and you can't leave him out there because he doesn't know where he is, and he doesn't know where anybody is to help him. And I'm thinking, uh, don't come down here because I'm sure not giving you a ride to the hospital.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, I'm here for the weekend, boy. I'm
Yeah.
going nowhere.
And there was another group. There was I think it was 5 of them in a site, right next to me, and they of course got woke up by uh, the screaming and hooting and hollering. So we kind of wandered over to each other and just kind of don't make any noises. They
Nosy
had
neighbor just like, what's going on over
well,
there?
they started doing their cooking and pulling out pots and pans. Don't clang the pans. It was the last thing they wanted them to come down here and try to get us to be referee for them.
What the heck is that? Oh, my knives.
You ever
Oh,
have
that's
any
my
wild
Ulu.
experiences camping?
No, we've always had good neighbors when we went camping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
for
think
the
I've
most
ever had
part,
a terrible camping experience.
for the most part, I have good experiences. Um, a lot of people see that I, film stuff, and they of course get curious and come over and chit chat. So that's nice to, and I don't want to get to where I include them in the videos, invading on their privacy, and I tend to not show anything about anybody else's campsite. I did actually made a mistake when I made a video about the campground. I wanted it to be alive, but I didn't realize that it defaulted to a private live stream. So I'm walking around telling about the campground and everything, and yeah, nobody's coming in to chat. Usually one or two, at least somebody might have a question about it. Nobody's doing it. And then, of course, after I got completely done doing it and it was posted and everything, then I looked at it, it's like it says it's private.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know why nobody
I hate
showed
when
up.
I hate it when it's when you do the video and everything else and it goes straight to private afterwards. It's like really.
Yeah. But that's like I said, it's a nice campground. It is semi-primitive. It's got the pit toilets and all that, but it is nice. Because it's got the pine trees and all the pine needles fall down. You don't have a lot of uh, growth. Grasses being tall around you, so it's nice to have that.
Oh
You
my
know, kind of
God, Grace. Jesus. Some Austin Powers shit right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Austin Powers.
Y'all got to
Absolutely.
do that stuff with the lights off, man. If
Now
you
the
if you
coolest,
have to use a flashlight to see where to put it, you doing it wrong.
the coolest experience I had,
Unless you have the
which
video camera on.
I wish I had recorded it. You know, I'm always after the fact. It's like, dummy, you're a YouTuber. That would have been great content. And so, basically, there was these probably father and son, and the son had to have been 12, 13. And so just after it was completely dark, and I mean it was a pitch black night, just basically, if you were to look out across the campground, it's pretty much just like it is, the black below here. And next thing you know, they're out there battling with lightsabers.
Yeah.
You can't see their bodies at all, so all you're seeing are the lightsabers, and the lightsabers, of course, made the sound as well. So that was absolutely cool. It's like, I want one, but then most of the time I go camping by myself. So who's going to be my opponent?
Raccoons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Throw some peanut butter on it and leave it out there, but then again, you might not get it back.
yeah. I've only had, uh, and I can't say what the animal was that got into it, but one time I had some animal get into my trash bin, which is one of those collapsible hoop ones,
Yeah.
and but I actually hang it up on one of the poles for my tarp so that it's up off the ground. They can't climb the pole; it's too slick to climb that. I suppose if they could get their claws into the bag, they could probably climb with it. But
Probably let you put property.
that particular instance, I had actually let it, sit down on the ground, and I clipped the side of it to the pole, and they managed to get into it. And I think I had a couple of bananas, and the banana peels were in there, and they pulled those out, threw them across, and uh, there wasn't really much else for them to go after. So I don't know if it was because I did hear deer in the middle of the night walking through the woods, and I mean I've had them within 20 yards of me, even during the day, walk by me. So I don't know if it was deer that came and got in there and got the banana peels out, or if it was actual raccoon. But I think I've only seen one raccoon out there, and it wasn't in the campground. It was not a lot of squirrels. I don't see a few of those. I don't think I've seen any chipmunks. But there's also no natural salt. Uh, there's limited ponds out there. I think there's two or three in the park, but there's no natural salt, like salt licks or anything out there. So it tends to make the animals stay away.
Grace, you should have been like swipe or no swipey.
Yeah, what are raccoons like, especially when it comes to quail eggs?
Raccoon party.
What movie was that? Open season?
Oh yeah.
Or,
Think so.
what get together was that?
That was the get together where we had the raccoon party on the last damn day because me and Jason were just too damn tired to put food away.
Yep.
That shit was like midnight. We were like, we're done. We both were out there having a couple of drinks, and the next thing we knew, it was like midnight. And we're like, shit, we gotta leave in the morning.
Yeah, I don't think that was the last day though, was it? Because I remember thinking that we were gonna try to fry up some of those eggs the next day. And I was really wanting to try it and see how they compared. Because I'm not one to, normally stray outside of the normal, what you can buy from the grocery store type thing. But the quail was good. That was an experience for me. I've had rabbit, um, deer, things like that, but not no other birds outside of turkey and chicken. Um,
You've never had like a Cornish game hen?
nope, never had
Really?
And, I mean, I've never had ramen noodles yet. That's need to add that to my list. I'm going to do a video where I actually try ramen noodles.
I mean, you're not missing out on much other than a massive caloric intake of sodium and calories.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, you know, I see all these people making different recipes utilizing it. Uh, so I'm trying to think of something that, because it's not like you want to cook just ramen noodles and just have that. I want something, to go with it, but I don't know whether I want it to be something that I cook into it or cook as a side.
For that one, you can actually, honestly, a stir fry would probably be one of the easiest and probably most tasty things you can do with ramen.
Yeah, I'm not a stir fry fan, you know. So, but I was thinking, like you know, they do have the chicken one, and if I could, I don't know if I'd want to put a blackened chicken in it, blackened chicken in a noodle, but maybe boil it up or something.
Like a grilled chicken, maybe you can slice that up, throw it in there. But if you're going to do it, I wouldn't recommend doing it with the actual packet, the seasoning packet.
Yeah,
Your best bet on that one is to cook it like normal. Do your chicken or cook your chicken at the same time because ramen noodles don't take jacks. It takes like 5 minutes to heat that stuff up in hot water.
right.
Especially if you've got it on like a good pot or like you said, your camp stove. You put it on the camp stove and boil the water and stick it in there in like 2-3 minutes. It's done. Drain it. Well, save the water because you'll probably want the water for other things because that's where all some of the noodle flavors at. But I would say some grilled chicken, like seasoned grilled chicken. I would say like kind of like a vegetable medley if you do vegetables with your pasta.
Yeah, Grace suggested peas, carrots, and corn.
Yep, that's basically would be the basic on that. Peas and carrots and corn would be not a full vegetable medley because your full vegetable medley is going to have peas, carrots, corn, green beans, celery, and something else. And then I would just take like a packet or two of like soy sauce that you get from like a fast food takeout place,
Yeah,
and then just kind of drizzle that on there and like stir it up and just eat it that way.
yeah. I have to try that.
Hey, do me a favor, Cliff. See if that link is good on Instagram.
I didn't even know I got a message. My phone's sitting right here. I didn't even hear it or feel it. Let's see. Jason's sending me links to things that I'm probably going to have to delete later. Just kidding. I got to get to the right page. Magnetic.
Yeah, but one of the things I like to do is, like, what is it? The beef stew. I think Danny Moore makes the canned beef stew, and if you get one of the smaller cans, uh, and I cook that up while I'm out camping, it's not quite enough for to really fill me up. So I'll do boil up some minute rice and then put that over it. And so
The link works, however, I can't access it.
Oh, bummer.
I keep telling everybody, I do not have the book of deface.
Well, no, the video would actually transfer over. It did not.
Were you the Kevin Lawson video?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the video I got. Yeah, that's weird. All I got to do is hit the X button, and yeah, it'll show me the video. She's doing weird stuff, but that's normal for that channel. Dang, that's a fairly large
B Heritage Farms,
squeaker.
welcome.
MB, good to see you. I missed it.
So, like I said, I like to find something. So, like I've got the ramen noodles. Obviously, that's not a meal in itself for a big old country boy like me. So, it'd be nice to figure out something to expand on the recipe for it. So, the chicken, the vegetables.
Chicken or veggies. You can add rice to it too.
Wonder how it would do with like a cheese, kind of like a cheese sauce.
Like kind of like a macaroni and cheese
Yeah, but do it with ramen
kind of
noodles.
style. I would assume it would probably taste the same as if you did this, like you did it with spaghetti.
Yeah.
You lost me at broccoli, Grace.
It's interesting. The broccoli, growing up as a kid, couldn't stand it. And
Still
then
can't touch it.
when my first son was born, of course, I stayed at the hospital all night, and the next evening they did a steak dinner for us, and of course they included broccoli with it, but it was covered with like a Velveeta cheese. And of course, at that point, uh, you know, most of the hospital food, just the plain hospital food, but them bringing us a nice steak dinner, I guess the broccoli was not so bad with the cheese on it, and then since then, I'm okay with it.
Oh yeah, because with the broccoli's covered in cheese, you don't taste the broccoli, you just taste the cheese.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite recipe.
But it was, it's probably one of those things that the reason I ate it was out of hunger, because I don't think I had eaten all day. The labor was 18 hours.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And of course, my son's mom wanted me basically arched over her like this for her to focus for that whole time. And I think when they finally decided to take her back for the delivery, it was like, I can't stand up straight. I would say probably 8 hours of it, I was, for the most part, like that.
Hunched over, that would suck.
That was very painful.
Oh, that's funny.
Might actually be the contributor for why now, if I stay leaned over for a little bit of time, when I go to stand up, it's like a pinched nerve or something in my back. Just
Back locks up
and goes, no, you better slow down. But if I stand up slow, no problem. It's what happens when you get old.
What happens when you get old?
Things fall apart.
Can you run? What was that again? Like I couldn't hear you.
Things fall
Or
apart.
hold on, I'm getting old. First thing to go is the hearing. Second thing is the knees and the back.
Yeah.
And then you come down with a mad case of CRS.
Could you move in a little bit, Cliff? I can't quite see it.
Hold on, Jason. Can you turn your volume down so I can hear him better?
Oh yes, you can.
Oh, hold on, wait. Can you change the color of your shirt so I can put my car in park? when you got to turn down the radio to see the lights better. Like, bro, has nothing. One has nothing to do with the other. When you get old.
I wonder here. I'm using obviously the Talk Studio thing, and it's showing that your camera is turned off there, Jason. Can I turn it back on?
You can, yeah.
I can turn
Probably.
your camera on?
Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Whoa, I can. Wow.
Yeah, you can also physically mute him on your side, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know, because some people, they want to step away or something and they'll mute it and turn the camera off, or at least, they gotta, they
There's nothing there.
turn the camera off. But
Nothing to see here.
I am surprised that I have control to turn that on. Very surprised to see that.
One of these days, you're going to turn on somebody's camera and they're going to be doing something they weren't supposed to be showing, and you're going to be like, whoops. Well, there goes that live stream. Going to either have to delete it or put that on private.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering, since, I'll be doing the camping once it comes spring, if I should happen to stay there on a Sunday night and I want to do my live stream from out there, if I can use this Talk Studio on my phone from there.
Should be able to, as long as you have signal.
Yeah. I actually get 5G service out there in the campground, so that's nice. But I don't know how easily it would be to control it, because on your phone you don't have the easy cut and paste thing for dropping the link and such.
Yeah, limited. If you had like a tablet on the side, you could probably do it. It'd probably be able to run better on the tablet, and then use your phone for like viewing the chat or letting people in, or just like as a extra panel guest. So if like you had to go somewhere, you can go with the phone and leave the tablet there.
Right. Now I do have like I said, the tablet, but I don't know if well, there's no software that it loads since it's a web-based application. I kind of wish it had a desktop version of it, and I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't, because it's this is what do I call it, a product of OBS, isn't it? OBS Streamlabs.
Yeah, I think Streamlabs is off of OBS. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a way through the OBS Studio that you can set this up on it, because then I could set up my laptop and tether off my phone for that.
Yeah. Should be able to. Shouldn't be a problem.
Be nice to actually do that, but like I said, it's not going to be an all the time thing, but at least it'll be available if I need that option. And of course, I got to figure out that overload on the battery box there. Try to get that working again. Glad you pointed out about that overload reset switch. So
Yeah, that's probably just popped it. So you probably just have to reset, push it back in, and do whatever the reset requires for it.
well, kind of pushed on it, which I've seen the what do you call them, like the little breaker things on like a surge strip or something like that,
Yeah.
where it will actually pop out, and then when you push it in, you got to push it in until it clicks so it'll hold it actually in. This it just felt like it kind of pushed in like
Excuse me.
maybe a 16th of an inch, and just kind of felt kind of wobbly, loose like.
Oh, they always feel like that.
So I don't know if it was just pushing down and making contact across two posts to discharge or something, or reset the overload.
Yeah, I don't know how those work, to be honest. I've actually popped mine a few times trying to run my little 400-watt heater. Won't run it. I can run it on my system. It takes me a second to get it going. I figured out how to do it, but I only get like an hour's worth of runtime off that thing. And then
Yeah,
it just drains the battery entirely. But the first couple of times I kept doing it, it would actually pop it out. And it shoots out, it pops out. And then you see I think mine has like a little red line. So once it pops out, if you see the red line, it means it's basically broke the surge, or it popped it. So
Yeah, you're drawing too much.
and then you just got to reset it.
yeah. I would actually, if I did get the bigger one, uh, I'm curious how much draw a heating pad would have on it.
Wattage divided by voltage gives you the amperage.
Yeah, not exactly sure what it is for the heating pad that I have, but it's one of those things that's nice that if you can, uh, like I said, I got the cot, the twin air mattress, and then the sleeping bag, and it'd be nice to be able to lay that out in there, and maybe 20 minutes before I come in, kick that on and get it kind of toasty. Because then, once I'm in it, my body heat kind of maintains the temperature in it. But it's that first climbing into it that's,
Yeah, I'd probably just do it on low. I wouldn't do anything past low on there. So whatever lowest setting is on your heating pad,
yeah,
that's what I would run it on, because I think anything past that's going to pull too much and it's going to drain your battery too fast.
You'll
which
probably only need it on for like 20 minutes, if that.
when we did the get together there in Iowa, uh, that's actually the first night when it got so cold.
Oh, yeah.
I that's what I brought the heating pad just for that.
Yeah.
And but we had power,
Yeah.
so that was actually plugged into the regular power circuit instead of into a battery box.
Yeah. I've actually updated my power for the tent. I took an extension cord and I put 2 outlets on there.
Well, they've got the ones that got the 3 prongs on the end
No,
of it.
I actually took one of my old extension cords,
Uh-huh.
cut it, and I added an actual outlet box in line. And then I
Oh,
have another one about 8 feet later with another box.
yeah.
And each one has 2 outlets in there and 2 USB chargers in it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Pretty sweet deal.
Tell
I
you what, you have
know.
it set up so you have, like, you just run it in there, and then you have one box on one side of the bed and one box on the other side
You
of the bed.
got it. You got it.
Nice.
I know. After Christmas, of course, they do all the Christmas lights and on clearance and whatnot. But how much do you think I think it was a 25-foot outdoor power cord, and it wasn't one of the low end cheap ones. It was the more beefier one
Yeah, it's like
with
$54.
with the 3-prong plug on it.
Yeah, it's like $54.
$9.
Oh, jeez, wow.
I was tempted to buy up a couple, 4 or 5 of them at least. But
Yeah, I would
then,
have grabbed a few.
it's like, you know, I've got one. I've got probably 3 50-foot extension cords. I've got
No, I'll be right back. Let me go get it. I might have to be a few minutes. I gotta dig it out.
I've probably got
Okay.
3 or 4 25-footers, and then a couple of 9 10-footers. And I'm talking the outdoor heavy duty ones, not
Yeah.
the cheap. And it's like, well, I know these are $9, and it's nice to have the three prong or the three plugs on the end of it. But am I just buying it because it's a good deal, or am I buying it because I would use it?
But at that point, it's buying it because it's a good deal, and you're not spending 5 times the amount on on a cord.
Right. But like I said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that, hey, that's a good deal. I'm gonna get that. But in this particular case, is it a good deal and then it end up sitting in a box forever?
I always look at it this way: if you ever accidentally mow over one of your extension cords, which I've done a few times with a
Yeah.
mower, you have a backup extension cord.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, if you lose any portion of the cord, you just cut off 2 feet from where the plug end is, go back 2 feet, cut that off, and you go into the other end, do the same thing, plug in 2 feet. And if you have a really like a heavy duty extension cord that's kind of roughly the same, thickness or whatnot, or amperage for cordage, you splice them together, and now you have a really long extension cord with those ends on there.
Right.
I mean, you basically sometimes you just buy that stuff for parts just on the off chance something funny happens.
Right. I mean, for the most part, when I've had, uh, when I've done work out in the yard, like, I used to do a lot of mods for kayaks, creating rod holders and things like that. And uh, I have pretty nice setup for. I had gotten a sit on top kayak. It was a little 10-footer, and of course it had the two holes, which were kind of inconveniently way back, but
Yeah, you gotta
in
like
behind
act
it.
like it's all funny to grab them.
So what I did was I had created a PVC pipe system where it sat in there, and it did angle back behind me, but then it came up and then turned 90 degrees, and then I was able to put four upright tubes in there, and they were set at the perfect height that, when I wanted to put up a rod, I could just reach back, and I always had my thumb down so I could find the hole, find it, and then drop the rod right into it, grab the next rod.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
and so a lot of the guys I used to fish tournaments, kayak tournaments, and a lot of the guys are like, hey, that's a pretty good idea, but I don't have the know-how to do that kind of stuff. I said, hey, bring it by. As long as you pay for the materials, I'll help you build it. And I would build the rod holders for them. I know one time I created one that was a dual set, so it had 8 rod holders, four across. But yeah, I could have the extension cords out there for drills and whatnot, and use the heat gun. You know, love the pliability of PVC pipe, especially. You get a heat gun, heat it up, and then if you need to expand it or whatever, you're able to shove something in it and it expands out and then hardens back up. So
Yep.
See, this is what I did here.
yeah.
So I took one of my old extension cords and I put this box on there.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it's got the USB on it.
Yeah, so I got a USB and a USB on there.
Nice.
And then the other one on the other end, about 8 feet after that. This is a 100-foot cord, by the way. Well, was.
So wait a minute, you've got a split that it wise, or
Oh, it feeds right through it.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Like that.
then I upgraded the end of it too.
So how long's
Heck yeah.
how
It's-
long is it between the two boxes?
About 8 feet.
So you could have one inside the tent and one outside for.
No, I actually set it up one on either side of the bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You put another one back about, maybe 10, 12 feet so that outside you'll be able to plug in a coffee maker
No, I use a different cord.
or.
Yeah, like I said, I've been learning how to use the Instapot for quite a bit of foods. So we've been taking that camping lately.
Instapot.
The Instapot, yeah. Instead of spending all that time cooking, I just throw it all in there, close it, set it for 20 minutes, and then come back about an hour and a half later. We got food.
It's similar to like a crock pot.
Yeah, but it pressurizes. It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can have beef stew in about 35 minutes. But we let it naturally depressurizes. That takes about 40 minutes when it's done cooking. So you got heat up time, which is about 15, 20 minutes. Cook time for about 20 minutes. Then you let it rest for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that meat comes out soft every time.
I mean, you could open it right away, but you may or may not have a hospital visit.
No, there's actually a release valve on there.
It'd be
Yeah,
like
even,
this.
yeah.
You ever seen the popcorn makers that, basically you got a little cylinder or whatever, you put the popcorn in and
And they pop it
turn
open.
you turn it on its side, well, you seal it up, and then you've got like a flame, and you can just sit there and crank the thing as it does it, but it builds up pressure inside.
Yeah.
And then when you open it,
Yeah, it goes everywhere if you're not careful.
yeah.
That's why they have those. I've seen those, but they have the bags. Basically, what they do is they get it and they get to where it's almost open, and then they stick it in a bag,
Yeah.
and then they wrap that bag around it, and then they hit the end of that thing, and then just boof, it just blasts all that popcorn like instantly into the bag.
Or rice.
Yeah. Don't think I've ever seen them do it with the rice though, but I usually
have.
see the popcorn ones.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that either.
Well, that's what they don't have. Well, they do have corn now in Asia, but before they were using rice, and that was their treat.
Because I'll do,
There's only one
like
problem
you said,
with that.
you said you do the beef stew.
Yeah.
I'll do the small can of Danny Moore beef stew,
Yeah,
and then cook up some minute rice along with it. And put that over it.
yeah, but you're by yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I made for when we were last out camping, because we had the mother-in-law and sister-in-law join us for the Halloween event.
Trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave a lot of it away too to some of the other campers and to a couple of the rangers. And we actually went back for seconds.
Yeah. I wish I could make it to the
April,
the April rendezvous.
the Operation Rendezvous.
That's a long ways though. Long ways.
It is a long way, and it's only for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's 14 hours of drive time.
That's still a long time.
That doesn't include, any stops, meals, anything like that. Now, for the most part, the halfway point would be Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother lives in the northeast corner of Arkansas.
Okay, Rockport area.
So, it might be something I could travel down, stay a day with him, and then take off and go down, and then coming back do the same thing, so that I don't have to, because I'm by myself. I'm not driving, 10 or even 8 hours is hard to.
Yeah.
drive by
I said, when we went up north up to the Iowa, we made it as far as Joplin, and that was about 10 hours.
Yeah.
Then we did the other 6.5 the next day.
Did you switch off driving?
No, I did all the driving both ways.
Driving. Yeah.
When I drove up there, I stopped in Iowa. Like I made it from here all the way to Iowa in one day, but
Yeah.
then I had to get up in the morning and drive the rest of that stretch to the campsite.
Well, if Arkansas was just a straight north on a highway between Texarkana and Fort Smith,
Yeah.
if that was all highway at 75 miles an hour, it would shorten that trip by 4 hours.
Is it not?
No, you got to take
I
all these
thought-
little windy roads, and a lot of places.
Oh yeah.
5 miles an hour.
That's what Highway 55.
Something like that. I can
Something
quick
like
check.
that.
It's easy.
Yeah. I remember it now.
I mean, it's so slow.
Yeah.
All the windy roads.
I actually.
Yeah, when you go through was it DeQueen, Foreman, Wicks, Cove, Hatfield, Manna, Acorn.
Yeah. Years ago when I was truck driving, I was actually coming up from, I think it was Shreveport. Or somewhere thereabouts, but we were coming up. We had a load that we picked up that kind of got us over to that side of the state, so we came up that way to Fort Smith, and it was somehow we had hit something. I was team driving. Somehow I had hit something that punctured one of the tires, and so we got out, checked it out. Yeah, it was flat, but it wasn't hindering any. And so we went to drive, and I think we drove for maybe another 20 minutes. And I looked out the mirror, and it looked like the trailer was just kind of tilted over a little bit. So, let's check it out. So they stopped.
Yeah, that was.
The tire had shredded and flapped around and shredded all four tires on that side of the axle.
Yeah, that's Highway 71 through Arkansas.
Yeah.
Now, if you come down to Texas, you're going to be moving quite a bit on Interstate 30.
Is that a 70 mile, 75?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to go through all these little little towns with like a 200 people population where you got to slow down for the Dollar General.
Yeah. Well, the thing that what happened on that particular trip, we had, where we had pulled over, we could see about a half a mile up the road that there was a little gas station, convenience store type thing. So we limped it up to that and pulled over in there and called in to, and I was driving for USA Truck, which has, in the next town over from Fort Smith, which is right across the river, has a terminal there. And we were probably 2 hours out, but we could see a half mile up the road a truck tire repair service. And instead of them getting in touch with the truck tire repair service and have them come take care of us, they sent somebody from the Fort Smith terminal with 4 tires to come out and change them. So basically, we probably could have been home in, maybe give them time to change the tires in an hour or so. And so we could have been home in 3 hours. But we pulled in probably 11 o'clock in the morning with the flat tires and didn't get home till about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Gee, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Terrible luck.
That was not fun.
Yeah, if you do decide to come down 59 from Texarkana going south towards Beaumont would probably be the fastest route for you because that's 75, 80 miles an hour. And it's not even an interstate.
Wait a minute. We have places in the United States that's above 75?
Yeah, like 85 miles an hour in Texas.
Really?
Texas is one of the few that if you're going slow, you will actually get pulled. If you're going slow in the fast lane,
You'll
you
get a
will get
ticket.
pulled over.
Wow.
Yeah, the left lane is for passing only.
Wow.
If I'm doing 95, everybody will get the hell out of the way because I'm going to be passing everybody.
I did not know that they had that.
Oh, yeah. Everybody here's a speed demon.
I mean, when I was younger, I remember, 55 was
Was
pretty
yeah,
much
was the limit. Yeah.
and then I remember them
75.
raising. I remember them raising it to 65, and then was just floored when I found out that, there's places that had 75.
Most of the highways in Denver are like that. Majority of the highways over there, 75 miles an hour.
Interstates, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got cars that can handle the speeds a lot better than we could back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah. True.
I've gotten my 95. I had my 95 Chevy S10 up to 115.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
downhill.
There's a lot of muscle cars out during that time period that was cruising speed for them.
Yeah, a lot of the old Mustangs. That's why you don't see a lot of the old Mustangs, is because
Or not cruising speed, idling speed.
they tend to crash really quickly at those speeds.
Especially at the intersections taking off.
Yep.
Yeah,
Too much torque in the back end and not enough control.
Yeah, what was it, the 73 Camaro I had the Hertz ratchet shift in it. Whew. That one would take off the line. It was one of those that when it takes off, the car kind of scoots over.
Slide to the right. Slide to the right.
No, I had an 85 Olds, was it the Cutlass? And that thing, it was a two-door coupe. And it had that, the 3.8 in there, V6. Man, that thing did a quarter mile in 17 seconds.
I actually had a Dodge Challenger. That was the last year they made them before. They stopped for an extensive period of time, but the one that I had was not the muscle car looking one. It was the smaller little mini sports car looking one. So when I tell people, oh yeah, I got a Dodge Challenger, oh, you got a muscle car.
No, the economy one.
No, I've got to pull it back on the carpet.
I have a.
Yeah, that
I
car
actually
got me
have
in trouble.
no idea what the hell that thing is. I
Spider?
don't even know if that thing still works.
Spider?
That thing is covered in dust.
Yeah, that was the only vehicle I ever got tickets in.
I have a mini race car. One of these little things.
I have a Harley. It was one of the things I was dating a gal, and for some reason we kept getting on the subject of, it'd be nice to have a Harley. especially where I lived there in Colorado. A lot of people had them. And they'd ride up and down the canyons on those on the weekends. So it's, oh yeah, it'd be nice to have a Harley to ride up and down through those canyons. Well, she went to Cabo with her parents, and then while she was there, she tells me she got me a Harley, and I'm like, okay, she is in Mexico. Maybe she got it for a super deal or something like that. And of course, yeah, it was Matchbox size.
Yeah. I was like a little Harley like that's messed up. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd be pissed. Oh, I'd be pissed.
Well, at that time, I was in the evenings. I dealt Texas Hold'em in like a little uh, sports bar slash restaurant place, and so a large number of the friends that we had, we all interacted with. You know, we were always all doing stuff together every single weekend.
I can't.
So she's while she's in Cabo, she's sending them messages too, telling them, you know, you know, to build it up, like, you know, build it up to me. So they were in on it too, that I was getting
Ooh,
a Harley.
little stinkers.
Yeah, yeah, that was, and of course, she said she was going to give it to me, when she got back at the place where I dealt. She said she said I don't know how to drive these, so I'll have my dad bring it up. Didn't say drive it up, said bring it up. So I'm, this is, I'm gonna be in heaven. Yeah,
Nope.
yeah, that
She
was,
said, "Gotcha."
Wait a minute. Emotional damage.
yeah.
Emotional damage.
Well, I did get her something for Christmas.
Herpes.
I got her a husband. It just wasn't me. That was one of the long
That
standing.
doesn't seem beneficial.
Well, we
Alamo.
actually broke up probably early November, and uh, at when it came towards Christmas time, by then the guy she was dating, I had become friends with him and convinced him that New Year's Eve would be a good time to propose to her. You know, so the standing joke was that I got her a husband for Christmas. It just wasn't me.
You know what the nice part about that part is? No alimony.
Yep. Yep. They're still doing pretty good though. He, he was my best friend. You know, it was a definitely a messed up situation, but he became my best friend, fishing buddy. Uh, you know, just
Where is the
all
poop?
around good guy. Every time we go fishing, we get accused of, it being the bromance. The best thing about it was though, when the first time we went fishing together, uh, she called probably about 11 o'clock and called him. Now I had experienced this when she and I were dating, but she calls him, and so he's holding the phone up, listening to what she's got to say. And let me guess, she wants you to come home because she's hungry. And he just kind of rolls his eyes and looks over at me.
Start laughing out loud.
He's like, how did you know? So that's her MO. She calls you to let you know that she's hungry and wants you to come home.
Oh,
Like-
in my situation for you, I would be running that so bad. So I would say, no, we were talking about you the entire time we were together.
Yeah.
But you're not. Being all self-conscious and everything else on her.
A lot of good times though back then. We had a group of probably base group was probably at least 30 people.
Damn.
And then there was more that were what I call come and goers. But like Sunday mornings we get together for breakfast at a restaurant, and I would say there was probably at least 20 of us there, and they basically had it was in kind of a pool hall slash bar slash restaurant, and so the restaurant part of it had like booths all down one side, booths all down the other side, and then up the middle they had tables. So they would put all the tables together in one long table for the 20 of us to eat at.
Jeez.
And it was there for a while. I would say probably a good 7 8 months. Every Sunday we had a standing reservation, and they had the tables ready for us.
Wow.
We came in.
Because you guys spent money there.
Yeah. Well, it's also where we played Texas Hold'em, and
Oh,
a lot of the people, I dealt Texas Hold'em there, and we would have it, after the restaurant died down. So basically, about I think it started at 7 o'clock at night. Then we would have Texas Hold'em in there, and then
Oh, man.
of course they had probably 12 to 15 pool tables in there. So they'd have pool league every night.
no, I can see the Roomba on the table. I got close attention. I saw that video.
Bam.
You didn't get that out on the open hallway.
Can't. Tile floors.
That won't run on the tile floor?
Oh, it will until it gets 16 inches, and then it gets stuck in the cracks.
Eyes fast enough, he'll fly right over them.
Not this thing. I can get it in here. It'll run on this one. Because this is not. This stuff's not too bad. Oop. I suppose it helps if I pull the antenna out.
Out of range.
Nah, the battery. I didn't. I have to. The funny thing is, in order to get that little car to run, I have to charge it with the unit.
Oh,
It comes with this little tiny cable right here that I got to plug into the bottom of the car to charge it.
oh, wow.
So there's
I only
not
charged
a,
it for a couple of minutes, and that's as far as I got it.
so there's not a replaceable battery in the car.
No, it's unfortunately it runs off this little thing here, but everything on the back of this, these are just double A's.
Nice.
Then you get the most janky little like control unit here, forward, backward, left, and right.
I would like to find a little RC. I don't know, whether it be a little monster truck or Jeep or something like that has good ground clearance, so I could put a GoPro camera on it and take it out in the woods and do that. But I did find one that I thought would work for it, and I put it down on the pine needles and set it so with the GoPro camera on it, and I didn't like trying to get traction on pine needles.
That's interesting. Was it just like a regular RC car? Or did it have like big old tires on it?
It had big, like monster truck style tires on it,
Huh.
and it just would rip down through the pine needles and throw them up in the air, but it wouldn't go anywhere.
Ah. So it was
Because
getting traction, but it wasn't getting anywhere.
the ground out there, so basically it's probably 2 miles from the Illinois River. So the ground out there has a lot of sand in it.
Yeah. Now, Cliff sent me a video the other day of these guys at a pool hall. Everybody paid $20 for a ball, and they put it on the marker around the edge of the pool. And then they turn the Roomba on, and the first ball that goes in, they got the pot.
Yeah, it was. I was. I don't know if I sent that to you or if you sent something to me and that just happened to be one down there. But yeah, I was. I saw that and it was interesting. They literally hit Roomba in the middle of the standard size pool table, and everyone was throwing. It was like 5 or 10 sticks to get into a pot, and they would get a pool ball. So when they ran out of pool balls, that was the end of the pot, and then they would just set them around like the table, and wherever that Roomba went, whichever ball got knocked in first, took it. I mean, that's one heck of a gamble right there because you
Oh
don't
yeah,
know
that is
what
random.
to do.
That is random.
I actually saw somebody that uh, was tent camping, and they brought their Roomba out to sweep their tent, and that was their suggestion for being able to keep the floor of your tent clean.
Now, next time I'm taking a blower.
I mean, a leaf blower.
Go out there with a dust buster, sweep all the shit into the corner, just hit it with a dust buster. Done.
Yeah. I've got the little whisk brush and a.
Yeah, I got the little broom and dust.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I had gotten, something with a long handle on it.
Now we're thinking about grabbing one of those artificial turf floor carpet and putting it in there.
Yeah.
They can just roll it up, take it out, unroll it, and shake it out.
I do like those those welcome mats that are bristly.
Yeah.
And I'll put that right outside the tent.
Yeah.
So when I come up to it, especially, with the campground that I'm in that's got sand everywhere, I just basically rub my feet off in it. It, for the most part, keeps, unless the shoes get wet or the sand's wet, then it could still get tracked in. But
yeah, what we've discovered is we're actually putting the tent on the asphalt pad itself for the concrete on the driveway. It's nice and it's flat.
Yeah. I went to a campground in Colorado one time that now I had seen different campgrounds that were managed, by the same online website, and I had reserved campsites there before, and plenty of room. It's just basically you find a place you want to throw your tent down and you're good to go. So I was looking at this campground. I knew the campground was there because I had gone to fish the lake that it was right there by, but I had never actually gone into the campground. And it was like a Memorial Day weekend type thing, I think, or 4th of July or something. I don't remember. But so I knew I'd have to make reservations in advance. And so I remember I said we had the group of like 30 people. So I told them, I said, hey, I'm going camping. Anybody want to go? And next thing you know, it was just like, oh, yeah, I want to go. Oh, yeah, I want to go. It's like, okay, well, we're going to need to reserve site, so we need to think about doing it now. This is like 4 months in advance. And
Yeah.
so I started wondering, well, instead of, like for me, it was just me by myself, instead of reserving a whole campsite for myself, how many people could we have in the campsite? And so I went on their website and they said, up to 4 tents, 8 people. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. But I know that some of the campsites are, you kind of got to walk in to where your campsite is.
Yeah.
They've got a parking lot over here, and you got to walk, over a hill to get to it. So I thought I'd call up the park people and ask them. So I call them up, and oh yeah, you can have, 4 tents and eight campers per site. So it's like, okay. So I reserved a site. One of my other buddies reserved a site. And another buddy reserved a site. So we had 3 sites. We're figuring, that's 24 people, that ought to be able to cover it. So we get there, and it's basically, it was a 4-man, yeah, it was a 4-man tent that was probably in like a 8x7 tent, and it basically had this like rectangular pad that had like railroad ties around the outside
Yeah.
of it, and then on the inside.
You were at Estes Park, weren't you?
No, this was it was near there though. It was uh, oh, it was down. It it wasn't quite in the mountains. So like if you from Loveland, if you go up the canyon there, then you go all the way up to Estes Park. But if you come back down and then head a little bit towards Denver, kind of in the mountains, but not
Oh,
quite.
I think I know. I think I know where you're at. Yeah. It's one of the weird, obscure ones off when you're going up to Estes. It's off to the left when you're going up there, or off to the right. I can't remember. Yeah, it's in that. There's a little town over there, but yeah, there's an obscure little campsite out there.
Yeah. Well, this is the lake system they have is they have one up in the mountains, and they had the one that we were camping at, and then they had another one below that, and then another big one below that, and they can actually drain those lakes down into the biggest one.
Mm-hmm. Because the higher one with that, what that one is that's what they consider their snow catch. So when they get heavy
Yeah.
snowfall, it all piles into that thing and just melts into there.
Was it like Soda Lake Beach or
Hey,
something?
there's Bait the Hook. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while.
BTH.
But yeah, so we're looking at this campsite, and I could put my tent on it, and then it had the fire pit, and then the picnic table, and pretty much every single bit of the campsite was taken up by just that. Or actually, it was tent, picnic table, fire pit. So what we ended up having to do was take the picnic table and pick it up and put it on the other side of the fire pit so we could put a second tent there. And we're talking, it was, the pad was flat, but the hill that we were on was sloped, so it wasn't like you could have put a tent on, off the pad beside the pad.
Not unless you want to slide down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing though I like about a lot of the campsites in Denver is because they'll put down. It's like a 10x10 pad.
Yeah.
Sometimes depending on the campsite, I've seen bigger ones. I've seen like 12x12.
Yeah.
And they're usually 2 to 3 fence runners high, and it's just solid packed dirt or like gravel. or whatever they put in there. But yeah, those things are 100% dead flat everywhere else at the campsite. We pitch this way, pitch that way, pitch this way, down that way. Water goes everywhere, but wherever your tent is at.
Yeah.
But it sucks taking the darn things out in a freaking pad of gravel.
Yeah. That was another thing that was, your tent stakes, trying to get those pushed down into that. It's not quite a pea gravel, and it's not quite sand.
It's like a decomposed granite.
Yeah, so it's
like an in between.
Yeah, but it's something that's hard to, just push a tent stake down into the ground. That's what I kind of like about the campground I go to.
That's why I always had the 6-inch nails.
Yep.
Or the 8-inch, the big old 8-inch like twisted steel nails.
Just say
I had
just
a pack of like
nail.
15 of them damn things and a hammer. Because once you get them in, they're not coming back out without any like actual like heft. You got to yank them out.
Was that like the Mount Glendon area?
Where that campground was?
Yeah.
No. I want to say it's Carter Lake, I think is the name of the lake, the bottom lake that it feeds into. So
North to south of Denver.
North of Denver.
North of Denver, it's going to be up toward the
Boulder?
Way north of that.
Yep.
Lions area?
Yeah, that's getting close to it.
Carter Lake. Lone
Probably
Tree.
closer to like Granby. From the sounds of it. I'm not seeing any. The sad part is I know this area too. I used to go camping over there all the damn time.
I'm looking at it right now on the maps.
Yeah, that's one of my.
It's fun geolocating stuff.
Yeah. So Carter Lake Reservoir.
Oh, is Carter Lake? Okay, I'm right on it.
Okay, so if you take that further on up into the mountains, there's a
Pinewood Reservoir.
I'm thinking he was up there at Granby.
Flatirons. That might have been.
I see Flatiron right here. Little itty lake.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Pinewood Lake.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So if you're looking at that, you see where the dam is. So if the dam is north, if you, on the east side, about midway, you see that clump of trees there?
Yeah.
That's where the campground was.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah. It's not too bad.
Yeah. And they, at the very top of that, so basically that's a hill. At the very top of it, they've built like a little, I think it's something like an amphitheater type thing. So, it's got the rock step down type thing.
That sounds like Red Rocks.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like to me, it's a mini Red Rock. But I guess at one point in time, they used to have groups that would come up there and do little shows for the kids. When people would camp there, they would do puppet shows or sing-alongs and whatnot.
Yeah, they do that here over at Martin Dies.
But yeah, so you can imagine. I got there with my buddy, one of my buddies that had reserved one of the other sites, and we got there early, And we're setting up, and it's like, okay, there's supposed to be, so I knew there's 2, 4, 6, 8 of us on Friday night, and some were going to go home Saturday morning, and some more were going to come up Saturday evening. Yes, and I think we were supposed to end up with about 18 of us. And then it fortunately turned out that there was 2, 4, 6, 8, only 8 of us that showed up for uh, the first night, and 4 of them went home the next day, and 2 more came up, so we ended up with 6 on the second day.
Oof.
But I mean, when we originally were supposed to have like 20 to 24 people come up, it was a good thing that not everybody did show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would have had to have that's that right. You would have had to have at least gotten another 2 more sites just to fit everybody.
Yeah. Well, actually, the site that my tent was on, one of the couples had a uh, cabin style tent like what I've got now, and so they put theirs. I put mine on the end of it with the door going off the end of the pad, and they put theirs in the middle with the door going out the side. And the tents were literally right up against each other.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Of course, we couldn't do any guidelines for that side of the tent, either tent.
Most of those freestanding tents, you really don't need guidelines unless it's windy. You just
Yeah.
stake down the the corners and you're good to go.
Well, the couple that had that tent, they had never been camping before, and the the husband, he was, he's one of these that's got a higher 6-digit income.
Ah,
So when they found out we were going to go camping, he went out and bought, nice fancy gear. So he bought a nice fancy tent. He bought a queen sized uh,
air
cot,
mattress.
cot with the air mattress built onto it.
Oh my god.
And then, you know, just high end sleeping bags, thick. And this was like I said, it was hitting. I think the coldest it got was probably 75, and he's buying sleeping bags that were rated for 0 degree.
Oh,
Jesus
jeez.
Christ.
Too warm.
And he even bought a screened in tent that was big enough, you could put a picnic table in the middle of it.
Oh, the
You,
screen, the kitchen, the
you,
screen
you,
kitchen like
actually,
things.
you could actually probably put 2 picnic tables if you butted them up against each other in there. It was a long one. And so he bought that and brought it as well.
Jesus.
It was like there was no place to set that up. But like I said, they left their tent there for one of the couples that was coming down, and so they stayed in that tent. But then the other couple that came was like, well, we've set up the canopy tent on this other one, for where everybody got together to eat. So what do we do for this last one? Well, fortunately, one of the sites up above us had sat empty, and it had a reserve thing on it. So I went down and talked to the camp attendant and said, they show that they've got it reserved for the whole weekend, but nobody showed up. Well, we did send out a text message to us, and they said they weren't going to make it. So, and it's a no refund camping site. So, if you guys want it, you can have it. You don't have to pay. So, great.
Oh yeah,
Woo!
free campsite.
So we ended up with 4 campsites, which worked out perfect for us. Otherwise, we'd have been kind of hard pressed to find a spot for that last tent. We'd have probably had to take down the canopy tent.
That's why you do what we did when we went to Iowa. Everybody freaking like 6 months in advance got reservations, and we just sat on them.
Oh yeah. I wished I had my big tarp and the tarp poles that I had. I could have set up a nice
Canopy.
pavilion. Well, I've done the canopy uh, tents, the accordion out ones, and yeah, they're nice and they're sturdy, but boy, they're a pain to you know they're heavy, they're bulky, they're you know, and that's just a 10 by 10 one, you know.
I think we have I think me personally, or at least my parents do. I think they own a 12 by 12 or something like that, or it might be a 10 by 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those things are a
Well,
pain in the ass to set up because you have to accordion style them out, and then you have to have like 2-3 people to help you put those things out.
yeah, exactly.
It's not an easy task for one person.
So this is my latest acquisition that I got from Gold Armor.
I was about to say it looked like an Aqua Quest.
Yeah.
Sleeping bag, air pad, mattress, tent, tarp, sleeping bag,
Tarp.
tarp. Ooh, that's a big tarp.
Yeah, this is let's see. Look at this. There it is. Trying to remember the exact size of it. It's a big one, but not.
Doesn't it say on the tag on the bag?
There it is. 20 foot by 14.3 foot.
It's the size of our tent.
Yeah.
And it came in a bag that big?
Yeah.
Good
Well,
Lord.
the other one I have is a 10 by I think it was 10 by 14 or 10 by 15, something like that. And I was kind of finding that I wanted something a little bit wider and a little bit longer because the when I set these up, I do three poles across front, 3 poles across the back, and a ridge line, and I can basically set it up so I can walk completely under any side of it whatsoever. And
Yeah.
so that would have been nice to have something that big because of the size of the group that we had. Uh, we could have easily had everybody sitting in their lawn chairs up under it, up out of the sun, because it got kind of toasty there.
Yeah, in the daytime it was pretty warm, but at nighttime, I'll tell you, man, I was not expecting that first night to get down that cold, or that second
Oh,
night.
yeah. It was cold that way.
I was watching the weather, hoping that it didn't get that cold, because I, was pulling up the weather reports for that area in advance. It's like,
Yeah. I have a Ozark Trail bag that's rated for like 30 degrees,
yeah,
and I took my Kelty throw blanket. And I swear, if I wouldn't have taken that Kelty throw blanket, I probably would have freaking died that night. I was freezing.
well, that like I said, I had that heating pad, and I was smart. I went in ahead of time, started preheating, but the sleeping bag I had then was I'm not sure. It might even have been like a 50-degree sleeping bag.
I got a 0-degree mummy bag, but I ain't dragging that thing over there. That thing takes up a lot of space.
Well, now I've got the 0-degree with the flannel interior.
Oh, I like the flannels.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, yeah, they say the down ones are, uh, of course they're lightweight, but they're, you know, rated for low temperatures like that. But and they're, like I said, you can compact them in. But I don't know about you, but I just don't like crawling into an ice cube and waiting for it to warm up.
Yeah, I run hot usually when I sleep anyway, so 5 minutes and I'm sitting there I'm like usually sweating.
Yeah. Well, the one that I got with the flannel, it's rated for 0 degrees, and well, once you get in there, you know, you can get nice and toasty in it.
You can probably get that thing down to probably -20 just with a thermal insert.
Yeah. Now I am actually curious, um, because I don't like to have it zipped up all the way on the side. So basically, it's just a layover like that.
Yeah.
So one side of it is open, and then I've been throwing like a quilt over the top, and then uh, with it hanging over the side. So now, if I do lift up on that, it lifts the whole quilt up instead of feeling like. And so, but it's still, and I'm cold natured, so it would be nice to uh, add some layers, but I don't know what the best way to go about with the layers is, especially with the air mattress on the cot. Because remember,
So
the cot sitting there, with the air mattress on it, that air mattress is, when it starts getting into the evening, when it cools down, that air temperature is not getting heated by a body until you get into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
try this again. That's the worst part about camping on a really thick like air mattress, especially ones that you get for like the Intex air mattress,
Yeah.
like the Intex air mattresses that you get in like Home Depot, or sorry, not Home. I don't think Home Depot's like Walmart, places like
Yeah.
that, Sportsman's
That's
Warehouse.
what I have.
You got that thick 8-inch mattress. Well, the problem is that's all air gap. That air gap, there's nothing heating that air inside. So when you put your bag on it, even if you have like an insulating layer, that cold is going to transfer.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
gonna lose heat conduction. What you can do is this is what I've always done when I've gone like cold weather camping is I always take like one of those emergency style blankets, and
uh-huh.
I'll set that on the ground, shiny side up, which a lot of people say is probably the dumbest thing to do because I think doing it the other way is retarded because what's the point of reflecting cold air back down when you're sitting on cold anyway? Let it reflect the body heat. But yeah, you
That's,
can lay one of those on top of the cot, throw your air mattress on top of that,
yeah.
and then you could probably do it again if you had two of them. You can throw that and another one on top of that. But you're going to have a problem probably with slippage. I would recommend probably like a wool blanket.
Which
Throw a
I
wool
did.
blanket on top of your air mattress, and then whatever your sleeping unit is, either another sleeping pad or insulated pad or whatever, just your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with that one. If you want more layers for the sleeping bag, you can do the same thing. Another wool blanket over the top, like you said, with the throw blanket, and then throw the blanket on that other blanket on top of it.
Well, I've got some of those. I guess they're considered a fleece blanket,
Yeah.
fleece style. So I've got some of those. I've got a quilt, an actual quilt, and then I've got the wool blanket. So I was trying to figure out what the optimum layering would be to, because I'm itching to go camping, so I'm liable to go when temperatures are getting down around the freezing if the daytime gets in the 60s or better.
Yeah, you probably did. If you're doing the sleeping bag, I would do the wool on top of that. And if it gets really cold, I would do the fleece. Because between the two of those, you're probably going to be sweating your balls off.
Not me, cold natured. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I have the only other suggestion I can say would be get like an acrylic style blanket and sandwich that in between the two. You're not going to freeze.
Yeah, there is a blanket that I've been looking at. Let's see if it's
Because I have a fur style blanket. It's synthetic fur, but it's a fur style blanket. Between that and my freaking throw over here, if I have those two on, I'm dying. I'm sweating buckets.
let's see.
And one of them already doesn't breathe because the top of it's nylon. So my throw blanket, my Kelty throw blanket, bestie blanket is what they call them. It's like $60 to $75 blanket. It's crazy. Thinner than a freaking sheet, just about. One side's got like a nice soft, kind of like teddy fur on the bottom, but the other side's nylon, so it don't breathe for shit. So
Yeah.
you're sitting under there like literally. Half the time I was at the camp, I slept on top of the sleeping bag under that thing, and I was freaking toasty.
So I'm looking at it's a survival blanket tarp. And it says it's windproof, waterproof material for emergency camping, hiking, outdoors. So it's
Well, yeah, it's basically a mylar sheet.
can't really tell.
It's an SOL bivvy or like a SOL tent.
No, it's actually kind of like a tarp. It's got the grommets in it, but it's one side's reflective and the other side
Red.
looks almost like a ripstop nylon.
Usually about 5 foot by 6 foot.
That was the other question. Was what the size is.
Because if it's what I'm thinking it is, then those are the
60 inches by 83 inches.
6 foot by 5 foot.
No. 5 foot 60. Isn't it?
Yeah, you said 60 by 80.
By 83.
Yeah, it's 5 foot by 6 foot or 5 foot by 6. It's I think it's 6.5 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have. That's pretty much what I have over here. Where is my bag? You know what? That is a good question. Where is my frame pack? Get out of it. There it is. Nope, that ain't it.
All right, guys, it's 10 o'clock. I will keep
Jason's dying.
later.
Oh, here it is.
All right, Jason.
Later, Cliff.
All right, catch you later, Jason. We'll see you on
All right,
Wednesday.
Yep. All righty. Everybody be safe out there.
Never.
Yes.
Don't forget to slap. Don't
So
forget to slap Jason.
Tuesday, you're anticipating putting up a
I probably should have got my other one. That would have been easier.
A what?
Oh, my tarp
you're
thingy.
anticipating putting up a greenhouse.
Yeah, hopefully Tuesday morning, weather pending.
Yeah, that looks like it, Cliff. Has that got the kind of
Tiny little grommets like this, and then you have the inside looks like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, usually about $20. These things come in handy. Yeah, this is what I use. I'll lay this down on the bottom floor of my tent. and I'll throw all my stuff on top of this.
So with a cot and the air mattress, where would you put something like that?
That personally, I would put that on the bottom between the cot and the air mattress.
Okay. So one of those, air mattress. Now you're saying the wool blanket on top, not on top of the air mattress, but on top of the sleeping bag.
Yeah. Well, it really depends. So the problem with a lot that I've noticed with a lot of the sleeping bags is a lot of the external coating is nylon or like a nylon-ish kind of mesh or
Right.
nylon style coat, which is extremely slippery on certain surfaces. So
Right.
if you have an air mattress that's kind of has like grip, it's not a problem. But if you have an air mattress that's kind of uh, like a swimming pool that's just kind of like slick and slippery, you're gonna fall right off the damn thing.
Yeah, the one I have is kind of a felt on top.
Okay,
It's one of the Intex ones,
okay,
but
okay. So you got one of those. Okay.
I
Um,
I
Two
didn't
wool blankets would
realize.
be my recommendation. One on the bottom, put your sleeping bag on top of that. That way it gives you something to grip on because wool does not slide.
Yeah,
So
the
that'll give you a nice slip resistant grip, and then you can put your sleeping bag on top of that, and then once, like you said, you basically taco yours, so you don't zip it all the way up or zip it. You'd probably
right.
just zip the foot box,
Yeah.
like the bottom corner, and
Well,
then leave the whole side
that
open.
no, the foot box is open. The reason being is because of uh, the restless leg syndrome, and I can't stand to have weight pushing down. So like if my foot is
Okay.
upright like this, you know, or even this way, I can't stand to have a lot of weight pushing down on it. So
Okay, so
if
you
you have
basically
to,
you don't even zip the bag at all. You just leave it completely unzipped.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, then I would do on top of that one, depending on the level of heat, like if you're, I mean, it really depends on temperature on how you want to layer the top. But if you've already got the sleeping bag, I would say just like a small blanket, like a small throw blanket, usually
yeah.
right on top.
Well, like I said, I got that quilt, but that's where I was trying to figure out where would I put the wool blanket.
Yeah,
At
you
what
said
layer?
you have two of them, or you just have
No,
one.
just one. One.
Yeah, I would set the wool blanket personally on the bottom, unless you want to throw the what the one we were just talking about, not the
The reflective one.
no, not the reflective one. It's the other blanket. The freaking
Uh,
oh my god.
I know
Not
what
the
you
down, not a
mean.
down blanket. The what the damn it, what the hell's that fabric? We were just talking about it like 3-4 minutes ago. Now my brain
It's
doesn't know.
almost like a soft fuzzy, but yet not to where it's like got like fur fuzzy.
Yeah, it's my freaking parents have the damn stuff on their bed, and I can't even remember what the hell it's called. They do that shit in the wintertime.
Yeah,
It's not the wool blanket. It's not the down blanket. It's like a cross between a flannel. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
So if you
yes,
have a flannel blanket, I would throw the flannel
yes.
blanket on top of your sleeping bag, and then if it gets really cold, you can pull the big blanket on top of you. But
Yeah,
I think once you get the flannel one on there, I think you're gonna be more than warm enough.
yeah. Okay. Because that was the only thing is I've added the wool blanket to the mix here, and I was
Yeah,
trying
I
to
mean, and
figure out
you can
where.
switch and vice versa too, depending on how you want it. You can throw the flannel on the bottom and throw the wool blanket on top. Just unfold it and just throw it out entirely, just all the whole thing all over you.
I was actually thinking about getting. Uh, they make those little round puck thermometers, that show temperature and humidity,
Yeah.
and then putting those fleece. That's what it is. But thanks, Grace. So I put those in between different layers and see, which it shows up as, or which one shows the best temperature.
Yeah, but again, if you're going to do something like that, that's going to be that's an experimental range, and you'd have to, in
Yeah.
order to get, I would say, consistent readings, you'd have to have like multiple nights of the same temperatures. That way, you can test which layer would be better on what layer.
Right, but if you when you came in put like one thermometer at in between the sleeping bag and the lower anything below it, put one inside the sleeping bag and then one on the outside top of the
Oh
sleeping
yeah.
bag.
Doing it that way, yeah.
So you've got the three layers, and then get in, and then maybe which I have no problem waking up in the middle of the night. Most of the time, I can only sleep for a 3 hour stretch, and then I'm awake for a while.
A little bit.
And so I would have no problem waking up in the middle of the night. So then I would be able to see what it went from. Now, granted, the temperature, like say it was before I got into it, let's say it was 60 degrees, across the board.
Yeah.
It might just miraculously be a little bit of difference, but it's only probably going to be 1 or 2 degrees. So then once I get in there, body heat starts warming it up. And then it would also tell me, the amount of humidity that I get going in that, so that I, you know, come up with a solution that, yes, it's warm, but it's not making me sweat, you know. So, and then, of course, the next night, I would still have even if it was different temperatures, I would still have a base temperature before I got in there, and then what it was if I changed
Yeah.
up the layers. So,
Yeah, because as long as you're not in there, you're not going to get any differential readings. But once you get in there, there's going to be there'll definitely be probably a 5 to 7 degree temperature range
yeah,
from your body generating a heat as it's trapped under the layers of whatever.
yeah. Oh, there's times I mean, even though I'm cold natured, I can put out some heat. Even in, if the temperature in the room around me outside it is cold. Like I've been camping in like say 40-degree weather, and had this is before I got my 0 degree sleeping bag. I think the other one's a 30 degree. But when I used that one, uh, and I had multiple layers of blankets, oh man, I woke up one night and I was just sweating head to toe. I was like, but it's cold out. I should be
Yeah.
at least comfortable, not sweating.
Sometimes it just happens. That's the funny thing with weather. I mean, it could be frigid outside to where you go outside and you pee and it freezes, but
Yeah,
you'll get in your sleeping bag under like 2 layers of fabric, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you're like, "Why do I feel like I'm swimming?
yeah.
Like how? Why?"
Oh, that was something I was trying to remember. So with these cold temperatures that we got coming up, and you've seen the videos where somebody takes a pan of water outside, launches it into the air, and then it freezes.
Yeah, basically turns into freaking mist.
Yeah. So don't you have to do that with boiled water?
Yes, it won't do it with cold water.
And at what point does it, you know,
I believe below 30 degrees.
oh, no, surely not.
Yes, it has to be cold.
You below
Right at
30
freezing,
degrees
right
or
at freezing,
30
it's not going to
degrees
work.
below.
Yeah, it's got to be below 30, like way below 30.
Yeah. So, but are we talking way below in the negatives? Way below that, or would it do it around say 1 degree or?
Might be able to do. Honestly, I would test it at like 20 degrees. If it's 20 degrees and it's cold outside, try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Just do a coffee cup. Just get like a coffee cup of hot water and just or boiling hot water. Walk outside, and just toss it. If it doesn't do anything, you might need to be colder.
Right.
That's the only thing you can do is just test out what the temperature range is going to be on that.
Well, I'm thinking it would be a cool thing to do if you could throw it way up in the air and it come out like that, and then stick the 360 camera in the middle of it.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one thing. I always see the videos, but they never really tell you what the temperature outside is when they do it.
Yeah.
They just say it's cold outside. I'm gonna do so. I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna do, and then they do it.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the videos of people that are doing not the polar bear club, but they're doing the portable?
That stupid ALS challenge stuff that they used to do.
No, it's where they get. I think Coleman even makes one. It's like a portable hot tub type thing,
Oh yeah.
but they fill it full of water and then dump ice in it. And
Yeah, basically just an inflatable hot tub. That yeah. No, I mean, if you want to do an ice bath out in the middle of nowhere, go for it. But don't come crying to me when you freeze.
well, it's actually becoming a thing now, and I think they're saying, oh, it makes you look younger, and it because it's shocking your system, so to speak.
Yeah, so is peeing on an electrical socket.
Yeah, exactly. But evidently there's a lot of people that are doing it now, where they're they'll get not a hot tub, just like those tubs that sports players sit in.
Yeah, that's basically a cattle trough.
Yeah, something about that size. And I saw there was one gal has a channel that's pretty much dedicated to that, and she does it just about daily.
Well, it's the whole thing. If you know the icy to dull the pain, hot to relax it away.
Yeah.
You're basically cooling yourself off to prevent damage, but at the same time, if you're in there too long, you can cause damage.
Right.
End up with frostbite.
Yeah.
Even though it's not frozen water, it's still water that is brought down to an extremely low temperature, which can do it. It can potentially cause more harm than good, but I mean, it will tighten the skin a little to an extent. I mean, if you were like 400 pounds and you lost 200 pounds, it's not going to just magically shrink all the excess, covering that you have.
Right.
I mean, it can have its benefits. I mean, it's going to make your heart race a little faster because again, you're shocking your system and to be like, why is it so damn cold? We need to start doing something to warm.
Does it do anything for circulation?
Yeah.
So does it,
I think it's just forced blood flow is really what it's going to be doing.
Yeah. So this might be something. Let's see.
Jeez, you says minus 14 for that, Grace? Damn.
Yeah. I've been in that kind of weather before.
I've gone to school in that weather in shorts.
Now here's a thought for you. Okay, so uh, water when it freezes does what
Solidifies,
and what?
turns into basically a freaking wet rock.
Does it expand?
It does expand.
Okay, so when you have a pipe and it has water in it, but it's a sealed, pressurized pipe, and that water, let's say it doesn't entirely fill the pipe. So if it expands, it should fill the area that is void, right? The open
It will
area.
fill the area, but if you have it under pressure, it's going to do something entirely different because you've already got compressed air in there, basically as your filler. Now you'll be able to slosh the water back and forth, but once that starts to freeze, it'll start crystallizing that compressed air. You're basically going to end
Right.
up with more liquid.
But it also is a point where you can freeze it enough that it could break the pipe.
Oh, it won't break it. It most likely explode it.
Right. Okay. If that's the case, even if you have air pocket and you have ice, where is it getting the extra mass to expand enough to break the pipe?
Uh, well, it'd be the same thing as if you took a propane can and stuck it in liquid nitrogen.
Right.
A full propane tank. So a propane tank is basically a compressed gas, which when it's in the tank is in liquid form.
Right.
So that's essentially what's going to happen when you pressurize a tube full of water.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
you have not changed the amount of air that's in it or the amount of water that's in it.
if you have it pressurized, you are so if you just fill the pipe with water and put the cap on it, seal it, and glue it,
Yeah.
that's there's no change in that. So you're not compressing. You're only compressing what air is in there, which is probably negligible to like maybe a millimeter or two's worth of compression pressure,
Right.
as opposed to if you did the same thing, put a filler pipe on it or pressurized that with a valve in the pipe. So when you have that pressurized air in there, that as it gets colder, it's going to condense and it's going to technically make its own water.
Right.
So you're getting the extra water from the compressed air as it freezes. However, again, because it is a pressurized system, as that ice expands, it's pushing up on that pressurized canister. So one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to pop the top off like a rocket, or
Right.
eventually it's just going to split down the side of the pipe.
Right. Which is, you know, in the case of, water pipes breaking under a house or something,
Yep.
that's what we're talking about. But when you think it in form of its simplest terms, you have, yes, you have the air in there, yes, you have the ice in there, but you have not, you know, you're increasing the mass of something to create that pressure, right?
Yeah, that's when the ice freezes because ice, like again, I can attest to that right here because I do the same thing with these things every day. I fill this thing almost to the top,
Yeah.
and every one of my lids, I've even had the bottom of this thing as it is. This thing has been completely rounded out, and that is a concave bottom. And I have had the bottom of this thing rounded off. Top of this, I'll grab my other lid. So this is what a brand new lid looks like, 100% flat.
Right.
That is not flat. That is rounded.
Yeah,
Hard to see because I got brown on the ground.
I
But that is rounded off.
I have a very similar.
And you can see evidence of that.
I have a perfect example.
So
So everybody knows these things, right?
those are usually a gel, normally.
Now you see the bulge.
Yeah.
This one's not as bad because it's been sitting all day. But, you know, the difference is probably at least a half
Quarter
inch
of an
or
inch, half
a
inch.
half inch rise, you know, in that from that freezing.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, if I'm not mistaken, those are actually gel filled.
Yeah.
Those aren't water filled. They stopped using the water ones a long time ago.
Yeah, there's,
You can still get them filled with water, but a lot of what they use nowadays is it's like a liquid gel.
Yeah.
Holds the cold a lot longer, stays frozen more.
Well, it'll actually, which that's probably my fourth set. I put two of them in that little cooler there. That's my fourth set that I've gone through because they, you know, keep growing and then shrink and then grow and shrink and then grow and shrink and then they eventually crack.
Yeah.
So that one's probably got another maybe 6 months left before it's going to need to be replaced for cracking.
Yeah, those things unfortunately don't last long. At least not as long as they used to when back in the day.
Yeah. And I was hoping because camping season, you know, this is a time of year that Walmart resets the camping and fishing areas, and when they do, they clearance stuff. So I was hoping they would clearance on those. They don't.
Honestly, for that, I mean, you could get 4 water bottles, like standard water bottles at the store, like the ones you get in like the 32 pack case or whatever, like a case of water. 3 is 4 to yeah. One of those would work too.
Yeah. These are what I freeze up and put in my big cooler.
Yep.
So I don't have to buy big bags of ice. Or
Yeah, that block will stay frozen for days.
Yeah.
Especially if you got it in a small cooler and you got like 2 of those in there. Oh yeah, you're not running out for an entire weekend. Everything's gonna be cold.
Now here's something that I was told, or not told, but I saw a video on, and I actually want to find out if it's true. They took you know, bottle much like this, and they put cotton balls in it, and then added water and froze it, and said it lasted longer.
I don't know about that one because I feel like you're losing a lot of volume for the water adding all the cotton balls.
But
it's probably not a lot of
a cotton ball becomes an insulator, but then as soon as it gets wet, then, you know, when it changes from the ice stage to a liquid stage.
Yeah, that one would be a weird one.
So that's one of the things I'm gonna.
It could work, you know. It could be good. It could be something that's viable and actually has some actual practical value. But I cannot attest for that myself because I've never tried. That's actually the first time I've heard of doing something like that. So that's interesting.
I would have thought, you know, it would. You would think, oh yeah, it's insulative, but then as soon as it starts melting, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
Then it kind of has a reverse effect.
Yeah, it's going to go a lot. It's going to thaw out a lot faster.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, it's something I'm going to try out. You know, I'll probably do a video on it.
I got another one for you. I don't know if you know about this one. When you're that bottle, as you're filling it up, leave about 2 to 3 inches from the top.
Right.
Squeeze that bastard. Then put the cap on.
Ooh, and then would it with its expansion? Would it?
That's the funny part. When you
Oh,
do
would
it
it? Yeah.
normally that way, what happens is as that ice freezes and takes up more space, it'll pop off that cap.
Right.
I've seen it. I've had that happen on me in my freezer. It'll pop the cap off. So I always, when I do
Well,
my
there's
bottles, I leave like an inch or two at the top, and then I'll squeeze them and I'll put the lid on. So when that ice expands, it's expanding the bottle to its original form, and then won't go any farther.
right.
Okay, we both stopped to read that.
So which one mentioned the cotton balls and the? Is that what you're talking about there?
I think she was talking about. I think she was making reference to your ice packs about the clear of Walmart swapping out stock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 The so like they've been clearancing this stuff now for probably 3 weeks, and they have yet to pull the clearance tags now that the pegs are empty.
My
So
Walmart does clearance right during the middle of winter. Once winter hits, they start putting all the garden stuff on clearance, and then that is it until spring.
yeah. But having worked there, now you kind of, and of course I know a lot of the people that still work in there, and they let me know when it's getting time for a reset. And so when they reset in a department, that's when a lot of the stuff goes on clearance in that department. So I got the inside scoop of when to pick things up.
Well, I'm like 6-7 minutes away from my local Walmart. I'm there once a week,
Right.
sometimes twice a week, depending on how bored I am and decide I feel like going to Walmart again 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Slows melting. I would have assumed once it starts melting, it would actually speed up the process once the cotton's technically wet. I don't know. That one's gonna be I'm gonna have to try that out, and I'm gonna have to try it in two different methods. I'm gonna have to use the cotton pads, like the makeup pads, and then cotton balls. See which one works better.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's got stickers.
yeah, I got my stickers,
Honky tonk outdoors.
and I do have one of these. And so, what I'd like to do
It's definitely not the hokey pokey.
is Grace has been gracious to stick with us here. Others have come and gone, but I appreciate Grace's sticking with us. So,
Grace is always dedicated.
Grace, if you are interested, if you would send me an address through, I've got my email on my page, or you can send me through Instagram. I will send you one of the stickers and this water bottle if you're interested. And of course, Cliff, I'm going to send you one of these stickers. I've been trying to find my list from our last get together that we did.
For addresses?
All the addresses, but I cannot for the life of me find it anywhere. So,
Yeah, like I said, I've got you on Instagram, do I not?
yes.
Yeah, if I can just send you something. I can send you my details on that thing. Who is sending me?
Yeah, that's true, Grace. So let me know, Grace, if you're interested in that. If not, like I said, I'm going to be doing the Sunday night live streams here on a regular basis, and maybe we didn't have as many tonight as we did the last time, so maybe the next time we'll have some more that I can do it as a giveaway in that one. But if you're interested in it, Grace, I will send this to you. Just like I said, just let me know, send me an address, and I'll get that sent over to you.
Do I have Herberto? Herberto? Come on. Herberto? Where is my Herberto? Where in the heck is he at? If not, oops, that's not what I hit a woodsman.
Yeah, because I'm in the outdoor people group, and you're in it.
Yeah, I'm in that one, but I thought I physically had you as an individual, not just a accommodation.
Yeah, but I don't know that it'll let you. Well, actually, I don't know that I have CR on mine.
Oh, that's probably why.
Oh, no, I don't.
Do I have this nerd? Do I have him? Jimmy? Apparently, I was not following you. My apologies. Oops.
I used to post a lot. I haven't posted that much lately. And I usually just throw a picture or two. And I have actually got the full, what do I want to call it, the ultra package of the live streaming here. So, I paid for the year as opposed to paying for it monthly. So it wound up being like $12 a month as opposed to 15 or whatever. And plus it gives me some additional features for stuff I'm going to be trying out.
I recognize the tent. At least that's a plus. And then the giant ass pan from the camp trip for the damn Iowa trip. Fucking huge. Yeah. Oh my god, that damn thing.
Yeah. See, I get the picture of it with the. It wasn't a cell phone, but it was
that solar charger
battery packs, the solar battery pack, and it was just about the size of the phone. It was just like, oh my god,
dude! I could have only imagined the size of a pan. You make one pancake in that thing, you can feed 3 people.
That or cook a pizza in it.
All right. Scrambled eggs. I think would have probably held like 5-6 pounds of bacon.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to basically now have a Brinks truck deliver, that many eggs to fill that pan.
Oh my god. God, that would be at least an entire flat worth of eggs.
Oh, I would say more than that.
No, I would say about 18 would fill that. Like if you did the large A8, the grade A eggs, the large ones. 12 wouldn't do it. Or sorry, what's in it? That's 6, 12, 18. Was it 24 in a flat?
Well,
no, I think 48. It's 32 in a flat, ain't it?
Is it 48? Because the
you know what?
Square.
I'm fucking retarded. I have a whole bunch of these damn things in my car. No, I kid you. I got like a whole stack of these damn things in my car. It's really funny is I got a carton right here. There's an 18 count right there. I just keep the cartons because they come in handy for.
Well, maybe it is 36. No, it's square. So 12 by 12. Yeah, absolutely, Grace. No problem. I actually picked up a couple of these that I wanted to be able to do the giveaways with. Like I said, I got the the stickers in, so
30.
send those out. There's 30 count.
It's 30 eggs to a flat.
Okay.
Because again, I have stacks. I have like a freaking 2-foot stack of these in the back of my truck. Yeah, it's 30, Grace. I got the thing right here. So they're in stacks of 5. It's a 5x6. Or 6 by... Yeah, 5x6.
So I thought it was a 6x6 thing. Maybe it is.
It might be a 6x6 if you get the like small, the small grade.
I guess the way they do it is 6x5, and instead of that extra row, that's where the handles are.
Yeah, well, because when you get these, when you have them, then when you separate, when you put them together or stagger them, they sit on each other. So the bottom sits on the, so the bottom of the carton sits on the peaks of these things.
Right.
And then you just have them staggered, and that's how they stack them in there so they don't break.
Right.
So essentially, the top of the egg sits in all the little holes on here. But I keep these because, 1, they're cardboard. 2, if I'm really bored, I can make a Christ load of freaking fire starters.
Yeah.
That's right there. That's 60 fire starters if I really got that bored.
Not a mulch item.
Say what?
Or I shouldn't say a mulch, but it wouldn't be good for like a mulch item.
Yeah. This is if you add these, you can add these to your garden as this would be your carbon source.
Yeah.
Because it's a paper product.
Well, that's why I wondered if those little. Remember, I asked you on one of your live streams there about the little pot cups that were made out of recycled cardboard or whatever.
Yeah, these ones.
Yeah, the little potting cups.
These guys.
If making a fire starter in that would be a.
Oh my God! If you made a fire starter in that thing, that sucker would probably burn for 30 minutes.
Exactly. But it's got the hole in the bottom. What would you plug the hole in the bottom to keep what you put in there from leaking out the bottom? I
put the hole in the bottom.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah, they don't come with holes.
That's right. You did that day.
I just got to get them from the front because I can't ever get the backside out. Yeah, see, they don't normally come with the hole in there.
Right.
So there is no hole in that at all whatsoever.
So
I poked the hole in there for demonstration purposes. If you're going to use that to grow seed starts that have a taproot, that gives the taproot somewhere to grow through the pot.
So think if you filled that, packed wood shavings into it, and then put like a wax / petroleum jelly mix in there, and then put that in like maybe like a little ceramic bowl, make like a centerpiece, little mini campfire.
Yeah, you could do it. I might have to actually try that. I've got a bunch of sawdust still outside from when I was making my free sticks. Making some sticks. I still have most of that still sitting out there. The wind blew a lot of it away, but it's in a spot now where it's kind of all packed together. So all I got to do is I just got to shovel it into a bucket.
See, when I'm out camping, and I'll go out, and the nice thing is you can go pick up downed wood or timber from the woods surrounding the campground, because a lot of campgrounds, they don't want you doing that, but this one, they'll allow you to do that. So I'll bring it back to camp, and I might have a couple of logs, maybe this big around, that are 8 foot long or something, and then I'll go to cut them up. Well, what I do where I'm cutting it is I have that wax canvas firewood carrying
Yeah.
bag thing. I'll put that, the nice thing is you can lay it out flat. I'll put that where the sawdust falls, and then I'll collect that up, and that's what I'll use as a base tinder for
Yeah,
starting.
fire starter. Yeah, works great as a base fire because they're already in small enough little pieces. They'll catch right away.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm already 41 minutes beyond what I anticipated. So, the good times, eh?
I nearly ran out of time yesterday.
Yeah. So, yeah, I felt like you kind of got bamboozled or kind of hijacked there for a little bit. I was wondering how you's going to handle that.
Yeah, I just kind of I love certain people on here, but certain people they tend to it's bad enough they're already
Yeah.
live 3 times a week.
Yeah.
They want to hijack everybody else's lives.
Yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, I appreciate you joining me.
No problem. Thanks for having me up. We went with the Orange Crew today.
I showed that we have 4 people watching. I don't know if one of them's mine. So
No, that would you, me, and would be 2.
Grace.
Grace is the 3rd one. It could still be where the heck did he go? Oh damn, it's been a while. Damn, I scrolled way too far.
Bait the hook.
Yeah, bait the hook. Might still be in here, or could be MB Heritage. Who knows?
Or there is one other possibility.
Molly.
My parents.
Maybe.
They like to sit and watch these things.
Hey, more views is more views, right?
I wonder if I can. Nope.
No, it'll show you the amount of participants, but it won't show you the participants' names, which sucks.
On the YouTube, not on here, on the talk stream, but on YouTube, you can go up to the very top, and there's the 3 dots.
Yeah, you can hit participants, but that's only the active participants.
Yeah. So you caught that too, Grace. Okay. Yeah. I didn't want to call anybody out, but yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's the reason why he doesn't pop up on my lives for my channel, my when I throw the link in there anymore, because he's gotten an earful from a lot of people.
Okay. That's kind of the side that I detected on it, but I just didn't want to, That's why you notice I kept throwing in asking gardening questions. I was hoping to steer away from where it was.
Yeah. Him and, I hate to say it, Colin do this. They kind of one-track mind.
They feed each other.
Yeah, well, they were yesterday. It pissed me off.
But okay. Anyway, like I said, appreciate you coming. Grace, appreciate you sticking with us. If you don't mind, like I said, just get me that address over either on the email on my channel or through Instagram. And I will get that sent out to you, and as I much appreciate it, and I do appreciate you being here.
No like problem. Thanks for having me.
I'll be on again next Sunday night, 7:00. Cliff is on Saturday nights, 7:00, right?
6:30 Central. Or sorry, 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain.
Yeah, that's what it is. So mine's 7:00 Central. So, and then of course Jason is Wednesday nights at 7, right?
Yes.
Does he have another night? Does he have another night?
Nope, he just does the Thursdays. Or sorry, Wednesday.
Okay. And then of course Colin is Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Ajax is Fridays. Is that right? 7 o'clock.
I think I
I've seen him going 6 o'clock sometimes too.
I don't always make every live because I have too many people are going live all at the same time for me. I'm on a live almost daily.
Yeah, same here.
Good night, Grace. Have a good one. Be well, and we'll see
All
you
right.
next week.
Good night, Grace. Again, thank you very much.
And I gotta go wedge this thing back in my box or my freaking pack.
We're going to wrap this up here. Cliff, thank you
Yep.
very much. And we will see you. We don't have a Monday night, do we?
I'm more. Even if we did, I wouldn't be there anyway because I'm stuck at work all day. I don't get off of work until 9:30.
Yeah, maybe that'll be our rest day. I think Des has one on Mondays.
She usually goes live on Fridays. I usually catch hers if I'm able to.
Yeah. Oh, Reef. The one that Jason told me about, the Reef something or
Reef
another.
robber?
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of a stream that kind of feels like a sub for sub, but
Could be. I've been on a few of those, but I usually don't ask for anything on those because, yeah, the sub for sub doesn't really do anybody any good.
yeah. Well, I always end up, it's like, I pop on there just to. I'm usually looking for channels that are more like-minded, and so I'll, check out what the channels are. If it's something that is like-minded and has stuff of interest, I would subscribe to it.
Yep.
Or
That's how I am.
at least watch some of the videos and then see if I did want to continue to subscribe to it. It's nothing I hate worse than somebody that just subscribes to you because they want you to subscribe back to them, and they don't watch nothing. You don't watch nothing, and YouTube ends up taking it away anyhow.
Yeah.
So
As I said, usually sub for sub doesn't normally benefit anybody.
yeah. So, all right, Cliff, you have a good night.
You as well, Dan. Be well.
You have a good night, and we will catch you later.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, buddy.
You too.
Once you end the live stream, though.
Yeah.